Night, special atmosphere. The leader in the West to be decided between LSU and Alabama. Here's Ron Franklin.
Tiger Stadium, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. A Saturday night during college football season. Quite frankly, I'll never forget coming here as an 8-year-old. You've never seen anything quite like it. The tradition, the passion that they have for these LSU Tigers. Alabama. They've been like the home team here in Baton Rouge ever since Nixon was president. But this week, Jerry DiNardo has drawn a line in the sand. A challenge for the future for his young LSU Tigers. So kick back, and right now let's have some fun for the next 3 hours watching college football on Saturday prime time.
I don't even know why we're going to Pinecrest. Fairways are like swamps. Sand traps are like clay. I mean, personally, I don't even find the course all that challenging.
What do you want? Pebble Beach?
Yeah.
Kelly Springfield tires are designed to go a long way. So go. Get every mile you can out of life.
You know it's going to be a 10-hour drive.
Good thing weekends are 2 days.
Introducing McDonald's Deluxe Sandwiches. They're new. They're big, with fresh toppings and a bakery soft roll. The average adult has over 8,000 taste buds. Get ready to use them all. It's McDonald's with a grown-up taste.
Michael Jordan, Bugs Bunny, they've teamed up to save the world. Now, Michael's gonna reach new heights, and Bugs is gonna fall for a lucky lady named Lola. Space Jam, rated PG. Starts Friday, November 15th.
Well, this is what they're battling for here tonight. The race for the SEC West. Alabama and LSU at 4-1, Auburn at 4-2, and conceivably we could wind up at the end of the season with three-way tie for the SEC West. And of course, the winner in the West gets the opportunity to take on the Florida Gators, who have wrapped it up as far as the SEC East. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin along with Mike Gottfried. And quite frankly, LSU just took the field, and the hair on the back of my neck almost unbuttoned my collar. This is some kind of atmosphere here in this city. Mike, we expect both sides of the football to see a lot of good running and also good defense. That's how both of these teams predicate what they do. So give us the keys as far as both teams having success tonight.
Ron, you're right. Both teams run the football, but both teams defense the run very well. So it falls on the quarterbacks. Herb Tyler has to have a big game for LSU. Against Auburn, he was 14-25. Florida 14-24, but he threw 3 interceptions. He can't do that tonight against this Alabama defense because he won't get the ball back. On the other side of the ball, Freddie Kitchens, the strong-arm quarterback for Alabama against Tennessee, was 8 out of 21 with 3 interceptions. Tried to force the ball a little bit too much. Needs to play within the system tonight. Throw the football to Michael Vaughn. Get some big plays. They'll be okay.
2 weeks ago tonight, Mississippi State came to town and played LSU. The weather was unbelievably bad. As a result, they destroyed the center of the playing field. Kellen Winslow is down on the sideline. Kellen, what's it look like tonight?
Well, Ron and Mike, the scene 2 weeks ago, of course, was a torrential downpour. LSU, Mississippi State, the field was just completely destroyed. They have since replaced from the 15 to the 15, from hash to hash, all the sod. Every piece of grass was taken up. They went down 1.5 inches deep, put it down. It has taken 2.5 inches in roots. Normally it would take a month for this field to stand. We may be replacing divots like my golf game.
Okay, Kellen, in the pregame warm-up, the kids did not seem to be slipping or that the footing was bad. So obviously, we'll keep an eye to see if it does become a factor tonight. What will be a factor in this ball game for this man, Jerry DiNardo, in his second year at LSU, is how his team handles the pressure of this big game. And this man right there, well, he's been in these shoes before. 5-1 against LSU, 83% winning percentage at Tuscaloosa. Alabama won the toss, and they elected to defer. As you look at Falk, number 3, along with Rondell Mealy, the dual safety. The kickoff by Alabama. 5 yards deep. Fox says, I'm going to return it. Near sideline. Breaks it. 20, 25, and out to the 30-yard line. So let's take a look at the starters for the LSU Tigers tonight. Tyler at quarterback. You'll have the great one, Kevin Falk, behind him. Robert Tyler, the fullback. The wide receivers, Chris Beard and Larry Foster, both possessing great speed. David LaFleur, huge at tight end. They'll use him to block quite a bit tonight. In the offensive line, Wells, Perry, McClure. Fanica is the best, probably, at right guard, and also Bordelon, number 68 at right tackle. Going to throw, and first down, goes up on top, and the pass knocked away at the 40-yard line. Beard, the intended receiver. And let's take a look at the starters on defense for Alabama. Hood, Myers, Ozell Powell, and Reggie Grimes are the down 4. The linebackers, this is an extremely active group. Rudd, probably the best of the group. Staten will keep an eye on. He turned an ankle in practice just 3 days ago. And in the secondary, this is a veteran group. But take a look at the corners. Fernando Bryant and Cedric Samuel. Well, tonight the change is that Deshae Townsend not able to start because of a hamstring pull.
Ron, when you look at this defense of Alabama, they want to play 8 and 9 people against the run, but to be able to do that, you have to have corners lined up in man coverage. Townsend is down. He's injured. So Cedric Samuel, a safety, will move over to corner now and take his position.
There he is right there. Had the interception return for a touchdown against Tennessee. Has 2 on the season. Linebackers ganged up in the middle. Rudd makes the hit on the quarterback, but the sweep is thrown complete. 45 at the 50. This is Mealy, and deep into Alabama territory. At the 38-yard line, Fernando Bryant finally makes the stop.
Ron, both safeties ran into each other. Kevin Jackson and Kevin Ziegler ran into each other, and that's what really opens up this play. It's going to be, watch both these safeties right here collide a little bit as the ball comes out here on a flare pass to Rondell Mealy. They just collide, they run into each other, knock each other down, and now a big gain for LSU.
26 yards, I say deep. As far as against this Alabama defense, it is deep this early in the ball game. Savoie in motion. The handoff goes with Mealy straight up the middle. Ziegler will make the hit on him just shy of the 35.
When you look at Alabama, watch the safeties make tackles. That's Kelvin Ziegler that was at the line of scrimmage when the ball was handed off. And the reason they're able to do that is because their corners are on an island with those wide receivers, and the safeties probably reading the fullback of LSU. If it's a run-type play, they're going to be right up at the line of scrimmage.
Good look at number 87, Dwayne Rudd, a junior out of Batesville, Mississippi. Blitz from the corner. Going to go on top. Got man coverage at the 8-yard line. Tip. It is caught at the 5. Larry Foster. After it was tipped twice, Fernando Bryant couldn't knock it away.
Good play called by LSU, expecting the blitz out of the secondary. They got the blitz. Number 7, Rondell Mealy picks up the blitz, gave Herb Tyler a chance to get the ball to Foster. And now Foster just continues to concentrate on that football against Fernando Bryant, brings it in for the reception.
This good for 32 yards. A moment ago, the play good for 26. So 58 yards on 2 plays by LSU on this opening sequence. First and goal. They fake the run in the end zone, wide open. LaFleur, touchdown LSU. There is a flag at the 12-yard line.
An eligible receiver downfield, Ron, and I don't know how that could happen. with the play-action pass. This is a nice drive choreographed by Jerry DiNardo in the first play in the first series.
Illegal participation. Offense played with 12 players.
No, they had 12 men on the field.
15 yards, repeat first down.
That's why it was tough to defend. But, Ron, when you look at, you have emotion on your side, you got a big ball game, you got a crowd, and you want that score to get set up and get off on the mark. You've got a lot of emotion flowing in their direction right now. Big penalty right there. What happened is probably a receiver went on the field and somebody just didn't come off. You know, usually you run with your hand up, calling the different groups.
Boyd put an asterisk by that play if they don't come away with a touchdown, and now LSU has called a timeout. 12:48 left, opening quarter. We have electricity in Baton Rouge. Right back.
You've been thinking about getting a digital satellite dish. And thinking some more. Well, think about this. The people at Radio Shack can answer your questions. Plus, now they've got great deals. Own an RCA brand DSS dish with programming for about $1 a day plus installation. Up to 200 channels of select movies and sports available on USSB and DirecTV. Think about it. Better yet, stop thinking about it. Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Sears is filled to capacity with tires for whatever you drive. And right now, all Goodyear tires are on sale at the lowest prices of the season. Only at our garage, the Sears Auto Center.
It starts with a full quarter-pound of beef, with fresh toppings, our chef sauce, on a bakery soft roll. McDonald's Arch Deluxe. If it were any more grown up, we'd need to check your ID. Oh, thank you. It's McDonald's with a grown-up taste.
Over the past 13 years, no other import manufacturer has sold as many sport utility vehicles as American Isuzu Motors. But hey, why stop at 13? Right now you can lease a 96 Trooper or Rodeo for some of the lowest prices of the year during the Isuzu Big Deal Clearance Event. The rugged, dependable, go anywhere Isuzus.
ESPN's coverage of Saturday Primetime is brought to you by Isuzu, equipment for real life. Well, this place was buzzing. They had scored a touchdown, apparently, but no. Illegal participation, 12 men on the field. Connors, double blitz right in the middle. Also from the corner, that's Staten. Number 41. Ralph comes across and makes the hit. And LSU will be, let's see, they're going to mark it down just outside the 30-yard line. And just a moment ago, they had the football just inside the 5.
Ron, what happened when you had 12 men on the field? First of all, that negated the touchdown. Then you come back. Alabama comes back with a blitz, catches Herb Tyler in the backfield, now sacks him back to the 30-yard line.
Staten comes on the blitz, has the pressure, throws the pass complete at the 25-yard line, and after the hit, Foster will lose 1 yard. As defensively, Cedric Samuel is the man who makes the hit.
When you look at Alabama defensively, you better take advantage of them on first down and short yardage, because in long yardage situations, they give you very sophisticated looks, very sophisticated blitzes. And when you have a quarterback that's relatively inexperienced like Herb Tyler, it's going to be difficult for him to read those blitzes.
Third down and goal to go. The ball is just outside the 25. Immediately in motion, they go to the draw play. Right up the middle, couple of yards, Kendall Cleveland, and that's it. Now, the field goal attempt is going to be from in the vicinity of 40, maybe 41 yards.
Good defense after the penalty by Alabama. I said earlier that Alabama in this league is like, their defense is like Florida's offense. It's been dominating.
Wade Ritchie, the ball will be placed down at the 31-yard line. Good pass, and he just missed it. Alabama was confronted with a 1st and goal. The ball just inside the 5-yard line, and LSU gets nothing. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
State Farm presents Rules of the Game.
We're talking about a player in possession of the ball whose knee is touching the ground. In this play, should the ball have been blown dead?
You worry? You're overprotective? You're a parent. Isn't it nice to know that there's something almost effortless you can do to protect your family even more? Just ask your State Farm agent for a free family insurance checkup. It's a smart way for you to decide if your family's insurance coverage is up to date. So they'll be better protected. And maybe you'll worry a little less.
In football, when a player possesses the ball and his knee touches the ground, the play is usually blown dead. In this play, the holder is excused from the rule. Legal play.
Rules of the Game has been brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Over the past 13 years, no other import manufacturer has sold as many sport utility vehicles as American Isuzu Motors. But hey, why stop at 13? Right now you can lease a 96 Trooper or Rodeo for some of the lowest prices of the year during the Isuzu Big Deal Clearance Event. The rugged, dependable, go anywhere Isuzus.
The Crimson Tide roll into Starkville. Alabama, Mississippi State, next Saturday at 9, only on ESPN.
Well, the Alabama defense on the sideline, what a job they did. Mike, show what killed the drive.
Well, Ron, they're in a 2 tight end offense, so you got 7 linemen. You got the quarterback, it's 8. You got 9, 10, 11, then you got the wingback, that's 12. So it's an illegal play, and that really hurt LSU because they had momentum. They had everything. They had the crowd in the ball game. Now they've got to be able to come back from that. Alabama did a good job defensively.
Kitchen's going to throw on 1st down. Now he's going to run it. And he'll be stopped after a gain of 1. Stansberry is there. The starters, Freddie Kitchens with the Riddle and Smith at fullback. Sism injured. We'll tell you more about that. Haight, they're using primarily as a blocker. Michael Vaughn, the go-to guy, number 22, and Calvin Hall, the start tonight ahead of Marcel West. The offensive lineman, Samuel Sprin. Causey is the bell cow there in the middle, number 71 at center. And LaRon White gets the start at right guard. Draw play. Riddle has 5, has 10, counted off at 13, and now 14 yards as he takes it to the 39, and Mark Roman is there to make the stop. Here are the starters for the LSU Tigers on defense. Williams, Wiley, McFarland, he's close to 100% again. That is good news for LSU, and Mike Sutton. The linebackers, this is the way they go. Very active group, and particularly Charles Smith, number 35, there in the middle. And in the secondary, well, they've got a task tonight. Is it run or is it pass? Walker and Hill, along with Roman and Cedric Donaldson. Riddle again, left side, has 10, counted off again at close to 15 yards in the play as Roman bumps him out of bounds. And on back-to-back plays, Riddle comes up with huge yardage. They're going to say officially 16 on the carry.
Dennis Riddle is when the coaches talk about him, they say the more carries, the better he gets. You look at his statistics, the last 3 games averaging 159 yards rushing. LSU's defense only gives up 145 yards rush a game. Riddle likes to run between those tackles.
Well, he's got 2 carries and 30 yards, 14 in the first, 16 in the last. Nothing to the left. Let's try to go to the right. Bernard Walker is there to deny him, and he'll knock him down for a big loss.
When we had the ball game where LSU played against Auburn, they used a lot of secondary blitz where they bring their corners and safeties out of the secondary. And they had success against Auburn. They're going to do the same thing against Alabama tonight. Bernard Walker, number 24, came out of the secondary, made that play on Dennis Riddle.
Officially a loss of 10. Second down and 20. LSU crowds at the line of scrimmage. They bring a corner blitz, and they'll have a sack. 55, Chuck Wiley, the junior from right here in Baton Rouge, and they've got the Crimson Tide headed in the wrong direction now.
Looked like a little line movement at the snap of the ball, Ron, where you try to take your tackles and loop them around. Wiley, number 55, works to the outside, beats the block of LaRon White, number 51, the guard. Freddie Kitchens set up not very deep, and he was able to get the Kitchens and sack him.
Third and 23. Got him again. This time Mike Sutton and Anthony McFarland.
Ron, I don't think in either one of these quarterback cases tonight, you don't want to be in long yardage with either one of these quarterbacks.
Well, this is going to be a delay of game against Alabama.
Better break for Alabama.
Well, it is, because the LSU defense, half of them are on the bench. They got to get back out on the field because the play's dead. It will be officially no play.
Ron, what I was talking about is you're going to throw both these teams. They make their living running the football. Their best throwing downs are first down, short yardage down. They're not long yardage passing teams. Either one of them are.
Kitchens drills the pass, incomplete. At the 45, Walker had the cover on Calvin Hall. And now it will be punting time for the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Ron, if I was Gene Stallings right now, I'd feel like a win, though, because I'm going to get field position back. Now, my offense moved a little bit. I had some success there. Took 7 off the board because of the penalty against LSU. Now I should be able to punt them and get my defense back on the field, which is the pride of Alabama.
Falk back in a single safety. Stockton will kick it away to him. Good driving spiral. Falk all the way back inside the 10 at the 8. Flag comes down as he takes it up the sideline and is tripped up at the 39. But we got 2 markers, one at the 21 and one back at the 19. And friends, that was a 56-yard kick. Going to be a block in the back. Well, ESPN has the best in college football. At 12:30, Danny Werfel, the #1 Florida, take on South Carolina. That game down in the swamp. Then at 7 o'clock, Southern Mississippi tries to stop Warwick Dunn and #3 Florida State. Then at 10 o'clock, it's an interstate rivalry as Norfolk heads to Hampton. It's next Saturday on the Deuce. Gives it to Falk. Nothing at the line of scrimmage. Going to be knocked down for a loss, and it's Dwayne Rudd as we check in for the first time tonight with Mike Tirico. Michael, what do you have for us?
Ron, this McDonald's breakaway takes us to the desert. Cal already up 7-0. Arizona State answers with Terry Battle. 27-yard touchdown run. They're tied at 7. ASU win. They go to the Rose Bowl.
Huge one out there on the left coast. And for Arizona State, Mike said, trying to keep that thing perfect. Herb Tyler, the senior out of New Orleans, Louisiana, handled the first drive extremely well. And then LSU with the 12th man on the field. They want that 12th man in the stands, not on the field, and it cost them 6. Pressure from Staten again. Hit as the ball is thrown and almost intercepted by Alabama.
Tyrell Buckner, there's Paul Pickett, number 42, Ron, was right there for the interception, and that's what you want to do. Alabama putting pressure on Herb Tyler. You don't want to be in long yardage situations. Here's the blitz. Pressure by Tyrell Buckner, number 92. He hits Tyler as he throws the football. Now Paul Pickett has a chance for the interception, just drops the football.
Mike, let's see what kind of effect, if any, Tyler got his wrist. You see him still working that right hand. He hit it into the headgear as he was being tackled. Draw play. Falk hit at the line of scrimmage. In fact, he may have lost a yard as Ralph Staten comes across to make his second tackle of the game.
We had a game a couple weeks ago, Miami and West Virginia, and we talked about field position being the important part of that ball game when you have two pretty good defenses and offenses that like to play it close to the vest. Now let's see where Alabama starts. They should have great field position against LSU.
Kessler standing back, as you can see, about 5 yards into the end zone. Alabama excellent at special teams and blocking kicks. They come after him, but a good job by LSU with a driving spiral all the way back to the 40-yard line made by Goss. There's a flag at the line of scrimmage at the 7, so let's check it. A 51-yard punt. Personal foul against Alabama. Now the discussion is, Mike, if they're going to bring it back, that means it happened during the play, which will be an automatic first down.
Personal foul on the defense. Illegal contact on the center. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That will move the sticks.
That's the new rule put into effect this year, that you can't touch the snapper when he's snapping the football. And Alabama must have made contact with him. You'd think this late in the season, that's the first time I've seen that call this year.
It is the first time we've had it on Saturday night. And look at Tyler on the bench. They are working on that wrist. We talked about as he was hit, as he was throwing the ball, he appeared to catch either his finger or part of his hand in that face mask.
Brian Sparacino is the new quarterback.
And now Falk steps up and he calls the timeout. So let's take a timeout. We'll try to get it sorted out with 5:54 left in his opening quarter.
You think you're in need of tires or auto service?
I got a traction problem.
Think Atlanta Metro Goodyear retailers, where Goodyear T-Metrics are an amazing $19.99. And save 25% on the innovative Wet Traction Aqua Tread 2 and more.
This fell off.
Get ready for winter with a cooling system special and a great oil change value. Just think Atlanta Metro Goodyear retailers for whatever your vehicle needs.
Do you have wiper blades?
Going on 2 days, Earl. Not a lick of food anywhere. I'm gonna eat my stinking boots if something don't.
Arr, Nate, what's this?
Come on, boys.
I'm ready.
Hot wings.
Buffalo. Earl, I'm glad you lost that match.
Race in to register for Napa 500 tickets at all Buffalo's cafes. 17th, 1968. The Jets are up by 3 over the Raiders. NBC leaves the game to show the movie Heidi at 7. The Raiders score 2 touchdowns. Joe McGinty is not amused.
I just snapped. I couldn't handle not seeing those closing minutes. For the next few months, I became withdrawn. I had blackouts. It was terrible.
We'd never preempt one of our studio shows for a family classic.
It's just morally wrong.
Well, they continue to look at Tyler on the sideline, and after this first play, we'll show you what happened. He not only made contact as he went down, his arm got caught underneath his body. So I don't know if this means we're going to see Sparacino a lot tonight or for the rest of the evening, but the injury does not look mild as far as Tyler is concerned. We'll show you right after this play. Throws it complete. Out of bounds just across the 40 is Foster. And now let's go back and look at the injury to Tyler just a moment ago. Now he is being rushed, and as he gets the pass away, you see he makes contact. Now watch his right arm underneath his body right there.
Ron, and now with Brian Sparacino in, I would look for Alabama to try to heat him up a little bit. Some run blitzes in, trying to stop the running game, but also trying to affect the backup quarterback.
You can see Buckner, number 92, standing very close there, along with Rudd, and here they come. The fumble of the snap from center. It is on the ground. Alabama says they have it, and the official says yes. Crimson Tide football. Ozell Powell is on it.
Ron, when you have a backup quarterback come into the game, you've got to get active on defense. You want to try to put as much pressure on him as you can in the passing game, but also give him different looks to try to confuse him, to try to get him out of some kind of rhythm. He just ran right into the fullback, Robert Tyler, and then the fumble was caused. Alabama, Ozell Powell with it, and Alabama with that good field position.
Kitchens will be sacked back at the 48-yard line. It's the third sacking, and let's go down to the sideline. And Kellen Winslow, what can you tell us about the injury?
Herb Tyler has a bruised right hand. His nerve in his right hand, I should say, is bruised. They're waiting for the nerve to calm down, maybe a series or two before they're able to tell if he's able to go back in.
Okay, so as they continue to work on it on the sideline, and we're talking about moment to moment, I guess.
Ron, Alabama is going to go back to running the football with Dennis Riddle and then throw play-action passes off their running game. The drop-back passing game so far they haven't been able to protect.
Kitchens, play action, deep over the middle. The ball is tipped, intended for Marcel West. And Stansbury, I believe, got a hand on it. Donaldson was the closest to it.
Ron, they're hitting Freddie Kitchens on every play. They are really putting a lot of pressure on the passing game. But again, the way to throw the football, just what they're trying to do there, play action. You see him get hit right after he throws the football.
Charles Smith, number 35, Mike, is the one who got a hand on it in the middle, number 35.
Michael Vaughn, number 22, is the big receiver for Alabama. They got to try to find a way to get him the ball.
Blitz coming up the middle. Gets it away. 40, 35-yard line. Curtis Alexander, who was a starter, had to have wrist surgery. That's when Riddle took over. Well, he's healthy again, obviously, and first time that they have had him back.
Just a flare pass out of the backfield to Curtis Alexander. Picks up some good blocking by Vaughn up inside. Picks up good yardage to put him in a good position here. But fourth down, I think I'd punt him still down the hole. When you get the backup quarterback in the ball game, even though the ball's on the 35-yard line, I still believe I'd punt it down there.
Well, Alabama calls a timeout, so we'll take it with them. 4:41 left in the opening quarter.
You've been thinking about getting a digital satellite dish. And thinking some more. Well, think about this. The people at Radio Shack can answer your questions. Plus, now they've got great deals. Like a Prime Star satellite system for only about $1 a day plus installation. 95 channels of Prime sports and movies with terrific picture and sound quality. Think about it. Better yet, stop thinking about it. Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
What would you call a guy who came up and tapped you on the shoulder and asked you to step outside? Well, if you'd had a few too many at the party, and the same guy asked for your car keys and got you home safely, you ought to call him your best friend. He'd sure be a friend of mine.
Announcing the Adventure Discovered Sweepstakes.
I've been shopping, big time. It's all right here on my Discover Card statement.
Use your Discover Card, and you could win everything on Boyd Matson's statement.
Patagonia. It's me. 2 tickets on American. my new Jeep.
Plus, you'll join him on
A National Geographic filming expedition.
it's the grand prize in the Adventure Discovered Sweepstakes.
Well, I've done my shopping. Have you?
It pays to discover. Watch National Geographic Explorer on TBS.
No score, Alabama and LSU. And if you have just joined us, LSU took the ball but right down the field. One play of 26 yards, another play of 32 yards. First and goal just inside the 5. They threw a touchdown pass, but they had 12 men on the field.
Ron, I like this strategy. Now, I don't know whether they're going to fake it or punt, but I still like playing against the backup quarterback to put him in the hole. I don't like that.
Well, you gained 15 yards off the play.
Yeah, now you want to hang it up or you want to kick it out of bounds is what Gene Stallings wanted out of his punter.
Well, next Thursday, tune in at 7:30 for the weekend kickoff show. Catch all the insights and the predictions. And then at 8 o'clock, Joe Hamilton and Georgia Tech will take on the Maryland Terrapins. All next Thursday here on ESPN. Well, as if Alabama needed any more bad news defensively, they have lost another defensive back. Quick pass tipped at the line of scrimmage and knocked down, and let's check in with Mike Tirico.
Okay, Ron, over on the Deuce, Virginia Tech and East Carolina, it snowed heavily this morning in Blacksburg, so some flurries still left hanging around. Jim Druckenmiller the throw. Michael Stewie, the catch. He got away from Kelvin Suggs and goes the distance for the touchdown. Tech has since scored again. They lead 14-0. Meantime, Byron Hanspard held to 65 yards early. Texas, an 11-point lead on Tech.
Now Fernando Bryant, who was at the left corner. Deshae Townsend not starting tonight. Fernando Bryant, he's out with an injury. We get a shot of him on the sideline as a moment as a flag comes down. Falk with the carry, and Kevin Jackson makes the tackle. As you look at Bryant on the sideline, and he had been flat of his back as they were attending to him. We'll try to find out exactly what is wrong, but boy, I'll tell you, for Alabama, Townsend unable to go because of a hamstring, and now Bryant out of the lineup.
Really going to challenge the other corners to play in this ball game because Alabama wants to play with those safeties up close to the line of scrimmage. Now this helps the field position again if you're an Alabama fan. If you're an LSU fan, it doesn't, of course, but now the ball is back down to about the 11-12 yard line.
Frazier will come out of the lineup, and Nicky Savoy will come in.
LSU's rush offense against Auburn, 90 yards, only 28 against Florida's defense, -4 tonight.
Ball breaks the tackle in the backfield, and he'll fight his way out to the 15. And that's an awfully good run to get 3 yards. I mean, Alabama is getting penetration on every snap of the football. They're in the backfield.
And Ron, I don't know if you're Jerry DiNardo here and Morris Watts, the offensive coordinator, if you want to put Brian Sparacino in a spot here because his third and long yardage, 15 yards to go, maybe a draw, some type of safe pass where he's not throwing the ball down the field, or let him air it out would be the only type of pass. I wouldn't want to put him in a bad situation.
Third down and the line to make is out at the 30. Staten coming up the middle. Pass going on top at the 45-yard line. And I'll tell you what, Frazier had a step on his man.
He got held. He got held too, Ron. There's no penalty flag down, but he was held all the way by Michael Fegan, number 3. But that's the type of play you let a backup quarterback throw. Just air it out, throw the max, protect it, just throw it as far as you can. But Alabama got away with one here.
Kessler's kick off the side of his foot. Goss, no fair catch on the run at the 50. The 45, breaks the tackle and lunges forward to the 40. So 36 yards on the line drive kick and 11 on the return. Mike Tirico, let's check back with you.
All right, Ron, let's pop everyone back out to the desert where Arizona State has taken the lead. Great first half for Terry Battle. 11 carries, 110 yards. This is second touchdown. Arizona State leads by 7 late in the second.
Arizona State leads for the...
Alabama slowly is winning the field position war. As you look again, now they're inside the 50-yard line. Just trying to milk some yardage to get some points.
Riddle hit behind the line of scrimmage. That's Anthony McFarland, who got penetration for LSU, and he'll stop him for a 1.5-yard loss.
Alabama's having trouble with LSU here for some reason. The offensive line, they're getting a lot of penetration. Little line movement right here again by LSU. McFarland able to get in the backfield, make the play. Alabama's offensive line is not handling movement tonight by LSU's defense.
LSU's 81 yards, majority of that coming on that opening drive. And they came away without a touchdown. Rodgers on the blitz, pass hit at the line of scrimmage and will fall short. The man in the pattern I think he was looking for was Michael Vaughn, and it was tipped by Pat Rogers.
We just say the fact that we just talked about the fact that they're having a tough time running the football. In their drop-back passing game, they haven't blocked the entire defense yet. They've had pressure on Freddie Kitchens. He's not been able to throw the ball cleanly in the drop-back passing game.
Rayon Hill, number 21, checks into the lineup for the LSU Tigers.
Ron, you think draw, screen, delay, something to slow down that pass rush.
Blitz up the middle. Kitchens going to be sacked by Stansbury. That is 4 sacks, and we're still in the first period.
You have to find a way. If you can't block them, you've got to find a way to slow them down. And the only way I know to slow them down is to draw a screen.
Well, there is a flag down at the line of scrimmage, so let's check it. Gene said, what's that? But what it is a personal foul on Alabama.
Talking about that field position they just lost. The number 43, Alan Stansbury on a blitz. Had a confused blocking assignment by Alabama offensively. Looked like center John Causey didn't come off to block the linebacker, Alan Stansbury. Plus, that was a dead ball foul, too, so it's 4th down.
So that field position you were talking about, 15 yards of it disappears.
Well, they started on the 40-yard line, and look, they're all the way back inside their own 40.
LSU's got the return on. This is a returnable kick. Fought. Returnable indeed to the 47-yard line. 40 yards on the kick and 25 on the return.
And now LSU has good field position to try to do something with it. Kevin Falk is a special running back. Always playing on special teams. They're a little concerned about how he carries that ball in his right arm. You see him flaring it out there a little bit. Defenses have been trying to punch that out. He's fumbled 7 times.
Sparacini, pass incomplete as it was intended for LaFleur. Had it for a moment. Rudd was there applying pressure and putting a hit on him.
That's the other way you try to control a blitzing type defense. Both these teams defensively are going after the quarterback. The other way is misdirection, where you take your quarterback and move him out of the pocket. So that the blitz is designed to get up inside, and you move the quarterback out. He's got a better chance to find a throwing lane.
Brian Sparacino, junior out of Denham Springs, Louisiana. They get him extra protection, throws his pass complete at the 35 to Beard, and it's 1st down just inside the 30, LSU. 25 yards as Cedric Samuel finally put a stop on it.
Brian Sparacino's going to fake the ball. Now he's going to roll to the left. Slides outside. Now he finds Chris Beard wide open. But remember now, they've had some injuries in the secondary, so you got different people playing. That's Kevin Ziegler playing the corner outside. Cedric Samuel finally with the tackle.
Goes on top, looking for the end zone. I mean, parallel to the ground is Larry Foster. That's a heck of an effort as he worked against Samuel, and it goes incomplete.
Ron, that was a nice thrown ball by Brian Sparacino.
With a lot of air under it, didn't he?
Yeah, he's throwing to a spot. Larry Foster almost gets to the corner route. Has Cedric Samuel beaten, but not a badly thrown ball by a backup quarterback.
And if you're wondering why Sparacino's in the ball game, Herb Tyler on the sideline still talking with the trainer, the team physicians, about his right wrist, which he got caught underneath his body when he was hit 3 series ago. Second and 10. Cleveland in motion. They want to throw the swing pass, and he does the smart thing. He just throws it away. Kellen Winslow, let's check in with you. What do you have for us?
Ron Fernando Bryant, number 25, the left cornerback for Alabama, is back in the ballgame. He was injured earlier on the sideline. There's turf here on the sideline. Then there's a concrete portion. He slipped on a wet part of the concrete, fell, hit his head, was a little bit woozy. They let him back in the ballgame. We'll watch him the rest of the way.
So we have had, we still got 1:12 to play in the opening quarter. We've had some really strange things happen in this football game early on. 1 of 4 on third down conversions. Sparacino, right over the middle. It is caught and then dropped at the 20-yard line. As Beard had it for a moment, then couldn't hold on, and a very dangerous throw. If that ball is tipped against a secondary like this, it's gone. It's intercepted.
Threw it off balance, right, Ron? You're exactly right. He threw it off balance and tried to get something on it, but couldn't to Chris Beard, and then was punched out.
So this is going to be a field goal attempt of 45 yards. Now, the longest that he hit in warm-up today, as we watched him, was 50 yards. 45, far hash mark. Good pass. He's got the distance, but not the accuracy. Wide left. So Wade Ritchie, the junior out of Carencro, Louisiana, is wide left, and we still are scoreless with 60 seconds left to play in this opening quarter.
Ron, with the success Alabama had with Riddle early in the ball game, figure it's just a matter of time till they go back to him inside the tackles. They had some success in the first drive.
Yeah, but he had 30 yards in his first 2 carries, 14 and then 16. Pass is complete, and it breaks the tackle. This is Michael Vaughn across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Stansbury stops him, but it's a 19-yard gain.
Well, here's why Freddie Kitchens, I think he checked off to this. Look at this coverage. Now, that's the coverage against Michael Vaughn. He's going to come down and run an out with a big cushion here. Tight split, Freddie Kitchens. That's pitch and catch, then a missed tackle by number 24, Denard Walker. There's Vaughn. It's an out route. Too big a cushion by Denard Walker.
Under 30 seconds to play, first quarter. Still no score. Kitchens sets, goes deep. Good coverage. Ball overthrown as he wanted Calvin Hall. That was Mark Roman back there along with Walker. But it'll stop the clock with 19 ticks left on it.
They're baiting Freddie Kitchens a little bit. Now, here's what he sees out here. Now, he checks off to this. It's man coverage. There's nobody deep, so he's going to try to run a takeoff to Calvin Hall. But there's going to be a safety come out and give him some help. Chris Hall, Calvin Hall, the mistake he made is he got too far inside, Ron. Safety came over the top, picked him up. He's got to stay outside the numbers.
Goss checks in the wide receiver. Number 11. Kitchen with the option. Wiley will wrap him up. Maybe a gain of 1, and that's it. And as the clock runs down, that will be the final play of this opening quarter here at Baton Rouge, Louisiana. With our score, LSU nothing and Alabama nothing. Let's take a break. We'll be back with more after this.
Pick up the new rodeo for the lowest price of the year during the Isuzu Big Deal Clearance Event going on now. Oh yeah, mud sold separately.
Now you can do your banking from home with the world's #1 selling home computer with Intel Pentium processor. Packard Bell. Wouldn't you rather be at home?
What's all this malarkey about how tough football players used to be? Used to be? Who's tougher than Reggie White? Bum hamstring, and he's still tossing linemen around like bocce balls. And if that locomotive can bring the heat with his leg on the fritz, imagine what it'll do to your healthy. Brother, they'll be taking team photos with an X-ray camera. Say cheese, wise guy.
Good morning. Ty Kirby.
Room 426.
Hello. Ty
Wants
Kirby.
to survive his first interview.
Rubbish. Sit up straight. Don't talk too much.
Good day to you, Mr. Kirby. Good luck, sir.
Good. My lucky shoes. Hello. I'm Ty Kirby. I'm ready.
Marriott, when you're comfortable, you can do anything.
McDonald's new Crispy Chicken Deluxe. With an all-white meat breast filet, fresh lettuce, and tomato on a bakery soft roll. It's a grown-up reminder that you're never too old to drool. It's McDonald's with a grown-up taste.
Sears is filled to capacity with tires for whatever you drive. And right now, all Goodyear tires are on sale at the lowest prices of the season. Only at our garage, the Sears Auto Center.
No score at the end of the opening quarter, and the stats in the first 15 minutes, when you look at him, that man right there is ball club with a definite edge, but a couple of real bad mistakes, and they're not on the scoreboard. Third down. The line to make is the 43. Here comes the blitz. Rodgers picked up, and then he gets away, and he'll have the sack. Also McFarland. That's 5 sacks against the Alabama quarterback already.
Well, the offensive line of Alabama's not picking up any line movement. They're getting pressure up inside. McFarland's getting a big push up inside. Pat Rogers, a linebacker, is going to come in and make the tackle. But just Freddie Kitchens, now I believe that's the 5th sack in the drop-back passing game that they've had. They've kind of got away from running the football.
Falk signals for a fair catch and then runs away from it. And he is fortunate because of the new side. The ball goes dead. It doesn't bounce very high. So that's a 42-yard kick and nothing on the return. Well, this offensive line is having some problems. And I think, Mike, during the last time out, one of the things that you and Kellen and I talked about, though, I'm really surprised that we've seen this much passing by Alabama. And I think the baiting right now is working. I think you can see next series they're going to go back for the run and stick with it.
Well, I would think they would go back and give the ball to Riddle.
Orsino, pass overthrown at the 20-yard line. That's Foster that he wanted. And let's check in with Mike Tirico.
Ron, the battle for the lead in the Big 12 South. Texas Tech. John Mitchell's going to run this one in for a touchdown. The Texas Tech fans are unhappy. They've been picking on Bevo, the Texas mascot. They've got to take Bevo from the stadium. Still, the Horns lead by 18.
They better leave that steer alone and concentrate on the field. Right now, they're getting gored. No score here. Just over 14 minutes to play until halftime.
Thinking they have a better chance against the team than this year.
Quick draw. Not much there for Cleveland, though, as he is hit at the line of scrimmage. It's Michael Myers, the junior out of Vicksburg, Mississippi, who wraps him up.
came out. Go ahead, Ron.
I'm going to say interesting story. He signed with Ole Miss, but he didn't qualify. Went to Hines Junior College, and then Ole Miss didn't have enough scholarships when he tried to get back in. Went to Alabama. And Coach Tuberville was not happy when that happened, that they didn't have an extra scholarship for him.
Well, John Copeland did the same thing. Came out of Mississippi Junior College to Alabama, had a lot of success, went on to the NFL, and that helped Michael Myers make his decision to go to Alabama.
Michael is an extraordinary player. Screen pass, got it. Mealy, foot race, and he's out across the 20-yard line. Ozell Powell in hot pursuit the entire way, and Myers applying the pressure.
Good series again, Alabama defensively. LSU's Morris Watts, the offensive coordinator, trying to slow down the rush with a screen.
You could see Beard getting up very slowly. Number 84, the sophomore out of Shreveport. And he injured an ankle. In fact, now he's asking for help to get off the field. He's hobbling. And he'll make it off okay. Goss is back deep to receive the kick from Kessler. Goss just short of the 50-yard line. 37 yards in the kick and 7 on the return. We'll be right back.
Don't let a new car payment be a financial burden. Call 1-800-32-SMART about Smart Lease by GMAC. It's an affordable way to drive off with a new GM vehicle. And it might even give you something you wouldn't mind carrying around.
Saab 900 Turbo, you could feel an exhilaration polite society would frown on. You could act on impulses committees would vote down. And when they tell you to zig, you could zag. Turbo Rush, only in the Saab 900 Turbo. Find your own road, Saab.
ESPN's coverage of Saturday Primetime is brought to you by Saab, who invite you to find your own road. And by Burger King, where you can get your burger's worth. Now, it's been 27 years since LSU defeated Alabama in Tiger Stadium. The Tigers beat the Crimson Tide 20-15 in Death Valley. Charles McClendon posted his second victory over Paul Bear Bryant. McClendon was the first and only Bryant pupil to ever beat his mentor twice. Charlie Mack, as they knew him affectionately down here in Baton Rouge. And now this man, the son of a New York City policeman, the head coach. And across the way, Gene Stallings, the veteran.
Ron, I would expect Dennis Riddle is going to get his hands on the football this series.
Yep, they fake it to him and going to throw. Going long. Flags everywhere at the 5-yard line, and Bernard Walker seemed to not have good ball identification as far as trying to cover Michael Vaughn on that play.
Well, Michael Vaughn is the big play receiver for Alabama's offense. They need to find a way to get him the ball. He's 6'3", 207, runs a 4.5 40, and they'll move him around. They'll put him at flanker some plays. They'll move him to split in, and he's the receiver that the LSU defensive backs will have the most problem with tonight. The speed of Michael Vaughn, he's just running past Denard Walker. Denard Walker's just mugging him down the field, not allowing him any chance to get to the football.
Penalty stepped off, and Micah takes it to the 36-yard line, and a first down for the Crimson Tide. No score, 12:22 to play as you look at penalties already in the ballgame. Number 4 against the Tigers. just short of the 30-yard line. Let's check back in with Mike Tirico. Mike?
Ron, halftime over on the Deuce. East Carolina down 14-0 late. Important play here. Marcus Crandall, their normal starting quarterback, out with an injury. Dan Gonzalez up top to Larry Shannon. 74 yards at the half. Virginia Tech's lead is 7.
Well, East Carolina, after what we saw them down in the Orange Bowl, they've got a lot of fight left in them. Long evening left in that ball game. Second down at about 6 after that gain by Riddle. He gets it again. You see the blocker in front. That's LaRon White, still on his feet. Good second effort. He'll have the first down. Mark Roman will knock him out of bounds.
Well, this is Gene Stallings football right here. 1960 offensive style football where you double team, you pull guards. LaRon White, number 51, pulling to lead the block for Dennis Riddle. Good block, good stiff arm in the secondary on Mark Roman. And now that sets up your play-action passing game. Once you get Riddle off the mark and gain some yardage rushing, take a little pressure off that rush.
6 for 35. He had 30 after his first 2 carries, but he had an 8-yard loss and then another loss, which took from that total. This time to the right side, 3 yards in the vicinity of the 17. Anthony McFarland will tackle Riddle.
McFarland's impressive. SEC freshman co-defensive player of the year last year. Played as a true freshman. An outstanding physical specimen. He's only 6'1", but he's 290. With great movement inside.
Well, the last time that we saw him, he was just coming back off a foot injury. He returned against Auburn and really was an impact player in that ball game. You also have to wonder, as far as Alabama's concerned tonight, Brian Cunningham, their regular kicker, not here. Jerry DiNardo down the sideline, and he says, had the clock not run out, and Alabama calls a timeout to make sure that it did not run out and get a penalty. So timeout, Crimson Tide. 10:50 to play until halftime. Still no score.
In a Saab 9000 Aero with 225 turbocharged horses, you could have serious fun. You could feel the rush of torque. And when Automobile Magazine says you must drive this car, you could admire their keen grasp of the obvious. The Saab 9000 Aero. Find your own road. Saab.
My brakes are gone. Any chance I could get that fixed in a couple of hours?
Tell you what, leave it here. I'll see what I can do. Check in periodically.
I was wondering, how's my car coming?
I have 3 of my best guys on it right now.
With Pep Boys 12 service bays and expert technicians, you're in and out fast. 26,000 items, tires, and service too. Pep Boys, everything but gas.
Southern Miss brings a stingy defense to face Warwick Dunn and mighty Florida State. Next Saturday at 7, only on ESPN2.
Well, through its $1 million scholarship program, Burger King donates $100,000 per week in the name of scholar athletes whose achievements go beyond the field in all NCAA divisions. Tonight's students of the game from Alabama, quarterback Warren Faust. He's a public relations major with a 3.62 GPA. And from LSU, offensive guard Adam Perry. He's a physical therapy major with a 3.25 GPA. Second down, the line to make is the 10.5-yard line. Now, this end zone is the scene of many great defensive stands by the LSU Tigers over the years, and they need one here. The sweep, 5 yards, has 10. Touchdown, Sean Alexander. Alabama finally breaks the scoring ice. So Alabama on a 17-yard run goes in front 6-0 as John Brock will attempt the extra point. He's perfect.
Ron, when I was talking about Gene Stallings a little while ago about 1960, 1970 offense, they do a lot of double teaming and pulling the backside guard. That's LaRon White again, number 51. And this is punishing football. What Gene Stallings believes, and I'll tell you, he's got a good offensive package, is you run the football, you double team at the point of attack, you get a good running game going, you mix in a little passing with it, you play great defense and great special teams, and you're going to win 9, 10, 11 games every year. And there's nothing wrong with that philosophy.
Well, it's funny that the people in Alabama, some of the people in Alabama from time to time get a little bit, so we say, a little short with Gene as far as his decisions to be conservative. But he's very plain to say, if you want me to be pretty and lose, I'm not going to do that. He said, there's nothing more beautiful than a win. And if I have to do it without a lot of aesthetics that seem pretty to you, I'm not going to worry about it.
Well, he learned his football under a lot of great coaches, Bear Bryant and, of course, Tom Landry. So he's very solid in his thinking. And there's nothing wrong with a great ground game and great defense and special teams. But the guy, I was going to say, the guy down in Gainesville has changed things a little bit because he's picked up the pace with the passing game.
William Watts, they call him the Wild Thing. Kicks it off. This is a short kick, only to the 12. Neely tries to get the sideline and a good open field stop at the 25. Well, College Hoops tips off on ESPN with Dick Vitale's Slam Bam Jam College Basketball Preview. This is Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Dickie D brings you his Diaper Dandy, his primetime players, and a look at the best teams in all the conferences. Then on Friday, it's a great doubleheader with the Classic presented by the U.S. Postal Service at 7 o'clock. It is UConn against Indiana, followed immediately by Clemson against Kentucky. Savoie reset on the play. Falk tries to sweep. That is a nice open field tackle by Samuel, who planted, came up, and just took his feet right out from under.
Now here's the difference, Ron, on the other side of the ball, because Alabama is so good against the run. And again, you see the safety, Cedric Samuel, up at the line of scrimmage. To beat Alabama, you've got to be able to throw the football. Kevin Falk, number 3, you're going to see number 13 come into the picture. There's just nobody to block him. He's the free safety, so you've got to be able to slow him down by throwing the football. LSU's best chance to win this game is by throwing the football.
Well, look at that. 5 carries for 7 yards for Falk. You knew he would be a marked man tonight, but he breaks it outside. Has 5, has 10, 15, 20, and pushed out of bounds across midfield at around the 48 by Buckner. 24 yards.
Kevin Falk just broke it outside. There was nothing at the point of attack. A good back keeps his feet moving, and good vision, slides to the outside, breaks it down the corner. Man coverage on the outside. Now there's nothing at the point of attack. They lose contain. Now his speed takes him away from the safety. Tyrell Buckner, the middle linebacker, finally makes the play.
You know, Mike, we talked at the production meeting today that this may be the type of night that he may have 20 runs and only pick up 1.5 yards, but then break a big one like he just did. Counter Trey, this time with Neely. Look at that quick pursuit. Breaks a tackle, though, as he got away first from Cedric Samuel. And let's check in with Mike Tirico. Mike, what do you have for us?
Ron, this is just the dessert on a wild day in the SEC. For the first time since 1990, Tennessee lost a game in November. Kadri Anderson and Chad Powers. Memphis beat Tennessee by 4. Meantime, on the Plains, Auburn was struggling with Northeast Louisiana late, but Kevin McLeod bounces it outside, runs it in from 6 yards, and the Tigers survive by 4.
You know, Mike, I would remind you about Tennessee. They finished very slowly last year. They had to come from behind to beat Kentucky, and they played a very lethargic game against Vanderbilt. I don't know what it is, but that better not be a trend because this season's not over yet.
Well, you know what happens when you're in a league race in the national championship and you lose the carrot at the end of the stick? Sometimes you lose a little motivation and you just figure you're going to throw your helmet out there and beat a team like Memphis. It's not going to happen.
Kellen, let's check in with you down on the sideline. What do you have for us?
Ron and Mike, Herb Tyler is up throwing the football. He's getting a little bit more feeling in that arm, a little bit more strength. delivering the ball, trying to throw it. They're taking him through that range of motion, see how he feels. We might see him in a series or two.
Boy, you'd have to be really careful because all you need is a fumble on a sore hand. Falk up the middle, breaks one tackle, breaks the second. Rudd, one of the first men there to finally stop him along with Sigler. And all of a sudden now here's a flag down at the 38-yard line.
It's going to be a personal foul. I don't know if it's going to be on LSU's Nicky Savoy or Alabama's defensive end. Can't see his number. No, Ralph Staten, the linebacker. I saw the flag come out.
They're calling it against LSU.
Away from the play, Ron. Just a silly mistake.
It's a dead ball foul after the play, which established the first down. Dead ball foul, personal foul on the offense. The penalty will be 15 yards, 1st and 10.
Savoy is still on the field. The trainers are out attending to him. Tyler continues to try to warm up on the sideline, but you could see a grimace every time he throws. We'll see if that grimace lessens or if Sparacino will stay in the ballgame. First down and 25. This guy right here has got to be grimacing over penalties tonight. Savoy, was he the 12th man a while ago, and just now he picks up a 15-yard personal foul penalty. Falk in motion. Sparacino's pass well overthrown, not even close to Larry Foster.
He had Larry Foster open, so I'm sure Morris Watts, the offensive coordinator, will catalog that play because it was there.
Mike, let me ask you, how much overhauling does Morris have to do just instantly with this youngster coming in the ballgame when he loses his regular?
Well, one thing you know about Herb Tyler, he had a lot of confidence throwing the ball on the run. It looks like he's going to keep Sparacino in the pocket. He's more of a drop-back passer, 3 for 11, 52 yards.
But this guy's having to edit as he goes.
He's calling plays that he knows Sparacino can do well.
There's the blitz. He's going to have to run for his life. Gets away, throws the pass, almost intercepted. And Kevin Jackson, the closest man to it, don't throw it close to him. He leads Alabama in interceptions with 5. But you can't take chances against a secondary like this. They'll not only pick it off, they'll put 7 on the board against it.
No, and Mike DeBose is going to blitz Brian Sparacino. There's no doubt about it. He's going to try to pressure him. He doesn't want him to get in any kind of rhythm. He's checking his play call right now. That's been signaled in from the sideline. Got a 3rd and 10.
Well, the one thing about it, though, it happens so quickly. You don't have to worry about him being tight because he didn't even expect to play tonight, right?
No, but he's in the flow of things right now and trying to make plays.
LaFleur in motion this time. You see the pressure. And he just throws this one away.
So they're not going to give him a chance to get his feet set. They pick up an Alabama penalty here.
Flag is thrown back at the 40, and it came late.
Unless it's going to be intentional grounding.
Intentional grounding.
Come on. You know, this is one thing. If you're going to protect quarterbacks, and I know some people say you do too much already, you got to give them that throw right there. I mean, he threw the ball away, yeah, but it's like the neighborhood play in baseball. It's always been given.
Good pressure again by the defensive line. Ozell Powell. Brian Sparacino just trying to get rid of the football. And penalties have just really killed LSU in this first half.
Pressure up the middle, gets his kick away. Best of the night. Great hanging spiral. Goss for the fair catch way back inside the 20. That is a 48-yard boot and no return. Kellen, let's check in with you down on the sideline.
Well, Ron and Mike, much to the displeasure of the LSU crowd here. If you can hear me, okay. Curly Hallman, the secondary coach for Alabama. We talked about Alabama's secondary, how well they're playing, and some of the injuries that they have to contend with. But Curly Hallman, the secondary coach and the kicking coach, is well known to this LSU crowd as he used to be the head man here. Lost the job just as he thought, and many thought he was turning the program around. A lot of controversy about that. Mike can comment on that more.
I will after this play, Kellen.
The comments coming from the stands. They thought that intentional grounding call stunk. Kitchens pass. Marcel West complete at the 28-yard line.
Now, I want to just add to what Kellen said. I really believe Curly Hallman had the thing turned here. At one ball game, the game at Auburn, when they had the lead and threw some interceptions late in the ball game, and Auburn came back and beat them, might have been the game where Curly Hallman may have lost his job in this thing, but he recruited very well. He started the recruiting process on Kevin Falk. He had a nucleus of a very good football team here for Jerry Bernardo to take over.
Well, this crowd voicing their opinion again. Drop play to Riddle. Takes it up across the 35, and let's check in quickly with Mike Tirico. Mike?
And Ron, back to the big game in the Big 12. Texas Tech in a big hole, needed a big play, and they get it. Zebby Lethbridge up top. Johnny Hart going to take it the rest of the way. 86 yards for the touchdown. They go for 2 and get it. 17-point Texas lead. Meantime, if Southern Miss can win on campus at Houston, they'll win the Conference USA title.
Boy, quite a stiff arm on that long touchdown pass, huh? Looked like a Mike Tyson jab. Riddle hit at the line of scrimmage, bounces off one tackler. Greg Hill hit him first, slowed him down, and it's going to be a gain of maybe 1. Wiley finished him off.
Trying to heat him up in the secondary again. Greg Hill came off the corner unblocked, and it was a slow developing play, so he got a chance to make the hit first in the backfield. Tybee Williams, the running back coach, talking to Curtis Alexander. It's good for Alabama to have him back. Gives him a little bit more depth at the tailback position to rest Riddle.
That's Riddle, actually, they're buying. Kitchens, they roll the pocket and incomplete. Calvin Hall was there, but it was like Greg Hill may have either gotten a hand in his face or tipped it, one of the two.
No, I think he tipped it all the way. Greg Hill tipped it away, dropped back in coverage in the throwing lane. Calvin Hall was the intended receiver by Freddie Kitchens. Let's see if he got a hand on it. Sprint out pass all the way, one receiver route, an out pass. Hill was backing up. Let's see if he got his hand. Yeah, he tipped the ball away.
Yep, sure did. 7-0 if you've just joined us. 6:34 to play until halftime. Alabama on top. LSU scored. They had 12 men on the field. They wound up missing the field goal attempt. They came away with nothing after a 1st and goal at the 5. Kitchen shuttles it off to Riddle. And he still fights his way close to the first down at the 47. Pat Rogers will corral him.
That was one of the concerns of Carl Reese, the defensive coordinator. He said that when Freddie Kitchens starts to move around, he becomes a playmaker, and he's a little, you look at him now, he's 222 pounds, but he said he's a very good scrambler and makes a lot of plays on the run. And here he does it again. Moves to the left, just shovels the ball to Dennis Riddle, and then Dennis Riddle with good effort trying to pick up the first down. Not a good job tackling him. Big play. Big effort by Dennis Riddle to keep this drive alive. And a good decision by Freddie Kitchens. This LSU defense has played very well here in the first half. Carl Reese's game plan outstanding against this Alabama offense.
That is the first 3rd down conversion of the night by the Alabama Crimson Tide. Kitchens under pressure, sack. Chuck Wiley, the 6th sack tonight.
Freddie Kitchens getting up a little slow, has those bruised ribs. Play action, faking the ball to Dennis Riddle, but Chuck Wiley's not buying any of that play fake. Just ran past LaRon White, number 51, to make the tackle.
You could see Sutton then came in to help out, number 90. Mike is a junior out of New Orleans. Wiley, a junior from right here in Baton Rouge. 2nd down and 17. Riddle Tries to get outside, and Pat Rogers will pick him up and bang him down hard.
It's good old-fashioned defensive football tonight. Both teams tackling well, playing field position, playing great defense.
98, Arnold Miller will check into the lineup, and Theo Williams will get a breather. Here's Theo, the freshman out of Marrero, Louisiana, 6'3", 235. Third down. The line to make for Alabama is the 43 of LSU. Here comes the blitz. Kitchens gets a good protection pickup and the ball overthrown. Alabama did a nice job of picking up the blitz as Vaughn was being covered by Walker.
Good coverage by Denard Walker. Was beaten early by Michael Vaughn, but stayed step for step with him on that play. Originally signed with Southern Cal, Denard Walker, but never enrolled at Southern Cal. Came to LSU looking step for step, just how you want him to cover Michael Vaughn.
And that time, good ball identification as he was turned around and looking. Stockton's punt. Good high hanging spiral. Falk all the way back to the 7-yard line. And he'll get what he can and then go out of bounds. So let's take a break. A 51-yard punt. And how well can this group continue to play? It's been outstanding defense.
Take the short drive to big savings at Al Brooks Chevrolet Buick Pontiac, where you'll find honest folks doing an honest business. Al Brooks offers the best selection at the best possible price, and it's hassle-free. With easy financing, you'll be in that new car or truck in a matter of hours. Choose the economical Chevrolet Cavalier or try Chevy's S10, Tahoe, or Blazer. Make your choice and drive out today. It's that easy at Al Brooks Chevrolet Buick Pontiac, South Main Street in Cedartown.
2 Action News at 5 with Monica Kaufman and Don Farmer. Live in-depth coverage of the day's top stories. Medical news from Health Team 2 and consumer investigations with Clark Howard.
This is the fastest growing area of consumer fraud.
Channel 2 Action News at 6 with John Pruitt and Monica Kaufman.
The Atlanta Federal Penitentiary remains locked
For the
down.
most complete local news coverage that's straightforward, clear. Count on the anchors who know Georgia. Channel 2 Action News at 5 and 6. Coverage you can count on.
4 hours of sports news is a wonderful idea. That way you can have sports coverage of everyone, not just the headline grabbers, but all God's children. The less talented, the less athletically gifted. Of course, I wouldn't focus entirely on them. Maybe once a month, late at night. Are you guys showing any of those blooper reels? I love seeing some guy get a fastball to the groin.
Well, while Jerry DiNardo has not won a game against Alabama as a head coach, as a player, the results were different. You see, he was a 3-year starter at right guard for Ara Parsegin's Notre Dame team. And DiNardo's junior season, the Irish captured the national championship, defeating Alabama in the Sugar Bowl 24-23 for a perfect 11-0 record. And in fact, in the senior season, he captured All-American honors. And he helped Notre Dame to yet another bowl win with a 13-11 Orange Bowl victory over Alabama.
And I believe he blocked Mike DeBose in that ball game. He played for Alabama.
They did go up against each other. You're right.
The defensive coordinator here for the Tide.
4:09 left until halftime. Alabama 7, LSU nothing. As Herb Tyler, the starter quarterback, continues to nurse an injured throwing hand on the sideline. LaFleur in motion. Falk right up the middle, puts the head down. Michael Myers, number 96, is right there to meet him at the 20.
LSU's had some success running the ball in the last series when they're running right at Alabama's linebackers. They're doubling Michael Myers up inside and running right at Tyrell Buckner, Ralph Staten, and Dwayne Rudd. They've had some success inside the tackles.
See the clock running down. 3 minutes and 41, now 3:40 and counting. Falk, nothing doing. 42, Paul Pickett. Knife through with great penetration and will knock him down for a loss, and now it's 3rd down and long. And Mike Tirico, back to you.
And Ron, back to Tempe, Arizona State, trying to lock down the Rose Bowl berth. Terry Battle, 3rd time in 4 games, he's over 100 yards, 135 and 3 touchdowns. ASU with the ball, up 14.
So the Sun Devils beginning to pull away. This one here a long way from being over. Many precincts still not reporting as Alabama leads at 7-0, but right now a big 3rd down play for the LSU Tigers. It's Baracino from the shotgun. Falk had him open, and good heavens, they had a blocker out front. That thing might have gone forever, Mike Gottfried, if he gets him the pass.
Well, there's no doubt they caught him in a blitz. Dwayne Rudd's going to blitz here out of the corner. Kevin Falk's going to come out of the backfield, and no one picks him up. Wide open if he catches that football.
Mike, it's hard to say it's a touchdown, but that would have been with the blocker out front and the way Falk can fly. That low-thrown pass just might have gone for 83 yards. Goss at the 39. Missed by 1. And then is going to be clustered at the 45. It's a 43-yard punt. Well, the ESPN Sunday Night NFL continues tomorrow at 8 o'clock as the New York Giants tangle at a defensive struggle with the Carolina Panthers, who are undefeated in their new stadium. ESPN Sunday Night NFL tomorrow, following NFL Primetime. Alabama, good field position with 2:29 until halftime, and they swing the pass to Riddle. And Riddle maybe has one. Greg Hill slowed him down enough, and then help from Sutton also outside. And you can see 24 Denard Walker.
We've talked about both defenses, but I think LSU's defense has been on the spot more tonight because the great field position Alabama's had. And they have just played lights out on defense, except for the one score that they gave up. They have completely throttled Alabama's offense.
Rayon Hill comes into the lineup. 35. Charles Smith will come out, so they substitute a linebacker to get the extra defensive back in on 2nd and long. Kitchens has a blocker in front. Throws. Now LSU is screaming, "We want a flag," and they got it. I'll tell you, that's a pretty good lobby. Yeah, the Kingfish never had a stronger lobby than that right there.
Well, the umpire is going to talk to the referee about this, saying that there was somebody in the area again. Now, we'll see how this comes out. There's a conference going on.
The ball was intentionally grounded by the offense. Penalty is 5 yards and a loss of down. The flag downfield is picked up because the ball did not cross the line of scrimmage.
Ron, that was closer. If you're going to call intentional grounding, that was intentional grounding. He threw it at the feet of the defensive lineman.
These guys have more than they can say grace over. The officials do it as an extremely tough job. But quite frankly, I wouldn't have flagged either one of them. I just let it go. I mean, that's... Where else is he supposed to throw it? If he throws it out of bounds, you're going to call intentional grounding.
Well, that's where he has to throw it out of bounds on that play.
Kitchens on top. Nobody close. In fact, the closest guy to it was Cedric Donaldson, number 27. Roman also had dropped off to help him.
Really, when you look at this first half, except for the big play, the 12 men on the field for LSU, the penalties they've had, this defensive football team has given a winning effort for Carl Reese, the defensive coordinator. They have really just completely stymied Freddie Kitchens in the passing game.
That they have. 1:28 left until halftime as you look into the eyes of Kevin Falk. Stockton waiting back at the 24 for the snap. Good kick. Falk back at the 12. There's a flag. Here's another flag. 52 yards on that punt as the discussion goes on.
There are 3 fouls. Holding on the return. There were 2 blocks in the back on the return. The penalty will penalize him the farthest is 10 yards and automatic first down.
Let's check in now with Mike Tirico. Mike?
All right, guys, while you sort that out, coming up, it is the GMAC halftime report. No October surprise, but a November surprise in the SEC. We'll show you how the Buckeyes did. Should they move up in the polls? And Chris Fowler, for Herb Street, Lee Corso, join us from Baton Rouge. The GMAC halftime report coming up soon. See you then.
Okay, Mike Tirico, 1:14 is what we have left here.
Ron, with only 1 timeout for Alabama, you just got to kill a play if you're LSU. Just run your 2-3 plays and get out of this half.
Rondell Mealy goes straight ahead. Myers will put the stop on him.
Take your time getting off the ground. Alabama's only got 1 timeout. Just let this clock run.
Brian Sparacino coming in at quarterback back in the first quarter with Herb Tyler injured his right wrist. Be interesting to see if they are able to do anything more when they get Tyler into the locker room, but they didn't take him in there initially. So whether halftime is going to make any difference, I don't know. Mealy again, this time close to the 15-yard line. And Dwayne Rudd will wrap him up, and now LSU will not have to run another play. They can head to the locker room. And now Alabama. No, the officials are going to call a timeout. Well, coming up, the GMAC halftime report. Tennessee Blues, the Armed Forces, and Roses for ASU. All of that and more coming up on the GMAC halftime report.
Lee Corso right here with the LSU fans. He was welcomed here. Picked Alabama in this game.
That's the end of the first half. And as they head to the locker room, our score, Alabama 7 and LSU nothing. Now let's join Mike Tirico for the GMAC halftime report. Mike.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. 1969, we remind you the last time LSU beat Alabama at home, so they have a halftime to think about how they can find a way to come out of this one with a win. Coming up, it is the GMAC halftime report. It's a day in college football where things had a chance to be thrown up in the air, and we'll have to wait till we see the polls tomorrow to find out what happened. You don't have to wait, though. We'll show you all the scores and all the highlights, plus Chris, Lee, and Kirk from Baton Rouge, where Kevin Falk is digging in, trying to do his best. But Alabama's defense has been up to the task. 7-0 at the break.
Polite society would frown on. You could act on impulses. Committees would vote down. And when they tell you to zig, you could zag. Turbo Rush. Only in the Saab 900 Turbo. Find your own road. Saab.
Sears is filled to capacity with tires for whatever you drive. And right now, all Goodyear tires are on sale at the lowest prices of the season. Only at our garage, the Sears Auto Center.
Ice Sport, the scent of exhilaration. New from Aquavelva. Also available in deodorant and antiperspirant.
This halftime report is brought to you by GMAC.
Let's get you updated what's going on as we speak within the top 25 in Blacksburg, Virginia. On the deuce, Virginia Tech up 7-0 on East Carolina. Jim Drunkenmiller, 23 yards to Cornelius White, and the Hokies take a 14-0 lead. But under a minute left, Dan Gonzalez in for the injured Marcus Crandall to Larry Shannon. 6th touchdown of the year for Shannon, and a huge one right before the break. It snowed earlier today, some flurries right now in Blacksburg. Virginia Tech a 7-point lead. On campus at Houston, they're tied, Southern Miss and Houston. The story here, if Southern Miss wins this game, they win the Conference USA Championship. So welcome to our GMAC halftime report. The pre-game week storylines for the Florida-Vanderbilt game. Steve Spurrier talking about, hey, if it's 24/7 like it was a couple of years ago in Nashville, we're going to keep throwing the ball, no matter how the Vanderbilt fans react. Well, different thing happened during this game. Show you how Spurrier's team did, trying to clinch the SEC championship at Vandy, up 14-3. It looked like a normal Florida game. Danny Werfel to Ike Hilliard, Gators 21, Commodores 3. Here comes Vandy, down 28-14. Jason Donovan, some sloppy tackling by a Florida defense that has played very well all year. The touchdown makes it a 28-21 game, and Vandy holds and gets the ball back. Trying to mount a drive, starting from their own 25 in the fourth quarter, down 7. Damian Allen to Zach Winkler across midfield. Now they're moving, but stopped 3 straight times on 4th and 10. The Gator defense, that beat-up defensive line, gets there, knocks them down. The Gators take over on downs. Woody Woodenhofer's defense needed to stop Florida. Werfel gets a generous spot and a first down, but it's enough to close the game out. Rod Dowhauer's team came quite close, but that first down helps Florida win the SEC East. They'll go to the championship game for the 5th straight year, but given a scare by Vanderbilt, a 7-point win. Tennessee taking on Memphis. Peyton Manning and the Vols of 14-7. Memphis receives the kickoff. Kevin Cobb, he's a defensive back. The junior looks like he was knocked down, but his knee never hit the ground, and Cobb was very alert. He never heard a whistle, and I'm going to play until I hear the whistle. He goes 95 yards for a highlight reel touchdown that will take you back to the replay so you can watch very closely if his 2 knees come down. Watch his hand, watch the feet. And give credit to the officials. They do a wonderful job saying no knee down. 95 yards, and now we've got a tie game at 14. Jeff Hall kicked a field goal, so Tennessee's up 17-14. Memphis moves it down the field. Kadri Anderson, the quarterback, on a gift wheel to Chauncey Carr. 41-yard gain. 4 plays later, it's Anderson looking for Chris Powers. Has him in the end zone, and Memphis, they bring down the goalpost at the Liberty Bowl. They'll have to put new ones up for the bowl game in December. They beat Tennessee 21-17. In the last 43 November games, it's only Tennessee's 2nd loss in the month and their 1st loss since a setback to Notre Dame in 1990. Auburn beat Northeast Louisiana, a Northeast Louisiana team that lost 59-0 to Mississippi State last time out. Auburn had to score in the last 2 minutes to win. So what does it look like in the SEC West? Remind you the importance of this game. The loser gets a 2nd loss and is tied with Auburn. The winner controls its own destiny to try to meet Florida in the championship game. Over to the Atlantic Coast Conference, and Florida State's Thad Busby out with a wrist fracture, so it's Dan Kendra in at quarterback against Wake Forest. We got some help from some of those great wide receivers. Watch Peter Warwick. Circus catch by Warwick, and he finds his way across the plane, a 42-yard score. Warwick Dunn was held to 56 yards on the ground, but Florida State still wins 44-7. In the game, they paid Wake Forest $1.2 million to move from Winston-Salem to Orlando. Clemson and Virginia in the conference. Tiki Barber awaiting a punt with his team down 4. Waves for the fair catch, but misses it. Bounces off the shoulder pad. Clemson recovers at the 1. They go into score. Barber had a tough day. He was held under 100 yards, and Clemson got it done on the ground. Keldon Duncan, 54 yards for the touchdown. He had a career-best 123 yards, and Clemson surprises Virginia in Charlottesville, 24-16. North Carolina now a good chance to finish 2nd behind FSU in the ACC. North Carolina really had its Alliance Bowl hopes help today. As we continue on the GMAC halftime report, the Arizona State story and what happened to Michigan in West Lafayette on a tumultuous week for the Purdue programs.
Don't let a new car payment be a financial burden. Call 1-800-32-SMART. About Smart Lease by GMAC. It just might give you something you wouldn't mind carrying around. Don't let a new car payment get you all wound up. Call 1-800-32-SMART about Smart Lease by GMAC. It can put a new spin on affordability.
If you're ready to do business on the internet, and you're wondering where to start, then the fastest growing internet provider in America invites you to get on board.
Nobody has been disappointed. That's exactly what we've had.
Great defensive struggle. Penalties hurt LSU. The penalty on the 12 men on the field. They had a touchdown early. They had momentum. They lost it. Let's take a look at the play. That's Nicky Savoie, who probably is the 12th man, just basically watching what he does. You got 3 backs in the backfield, 2 tight ends, a quarterback, and just really nothing for him to do on this play. So it's probably he's the extra man, whether he didn't come off the field or somebody didn't substitute in and tell him to come off the field, I don't know. When you look around at the penalties, that's big for LSU right there. 7 penalties, 96 yards. 3rd down, nobody's making anything happen there. 1 of 7, 1 of 8 for LSU. Field position's been the benefit of Alabama, but they haven't really been able to score. They got 7 points, sacks, 5 sacks by LSU, so that's tough to overcome. Field goals, 2 missed by LSU. Not hard to believe that we have a 7-0 ball game.
By the way, they took one of the sacks away. We had it at 6, and they came back and said, well, they're going to change one officially downstairs, so make it 5 first-half sacks as Danny Boyd kicks it off. And Marcel West, 5 yards deep in the end zone, goes down on one knee. Kellen, let's check in with you on the injury to the LSU quarterback.
All right, Ron and Mike, I wish I had an anatomical chart, or the fans at home had one. I could better explain this, but the best way to explain his injury is it's right behind the bicep, and it's a muscular injury right on that nerve, and it causes a shooting pain down his arm, much like a funny bone type situation. It's weak. He could get better in an hour. He could get better in 3 days. It's not likely that he will return, in the opinion of the trainer and one of the doctors, but we'll see.
So in the interim, Brian Sparacino will continue to operate a quarterback for the LSU Tigers. Alabama on offense. Riddle close to 10 yards on the opening carry of the second half. Mark Roman has to come up from his free safety spot to put the hit on him.
First play, they changed the formation a little bit, go to split backs. Dennis Riddle following a good block by Ed Sisson. Picks up 9 yards. Good way to start the half for Alabama.
Running play, gets a good block from Smith, turns the corner, and just short of the 40-yard line again, it's Mark Roman who comes up to make the tackle. And a nice block by LaRon White on the play, number 51. They have used him, pulling him a lot tonight.
They've had a lot of success pulling him to the left side, number 51, LaRon White. Now, Charles Smith has a chance to make this play, number 35, just can't get set up. But that was LaRon White blocking Denard Walker, number 24. That's the play they scored the touchdown on.
Riddle, boy, he gets whacked by 43 Stansbury. Then some help. Number 90, Sutton, comes over to help out on the stop as well.
When I talked to Carl Reese, the defensive coordinator for LSU, who's done such an outstanding job tonight, he said when you look at Alabama, they do things a little different than most of the teams that come in here and play us on offense. They double team so much that we don't see a lot of it. And I told our players, he said, I told my players this week that they're going to face some double teams. Patrick Hape's a good blocker for Alabama, the tight end.
Gets in creeping up. There comes the blitz from Greg Hill. And Kitchens running for his life. Will come out of bounds just short of the 45. Charles Smith forced him out of bounds.
It's a good fake by Freddie Kitchens, the respect of the running play to Riddle. You're going to see the fake go this way. Now watch the defender just take and bite on the run play. He's going to come inside and leaves contain out for Freddie Kitchens. If he would have taken off running right from the start, picked up more yards around, but he was looking for a big play in the passing game, which is exactly what you want him to do.
First and 10, the line of scrimmage, the LSU 46. 7-0. Alabama leads. Riddle on the sweep, cuts it back into the middle. Charles Smith along with Chuck Wiley, number 55, combining on the stop.
Now this is what Alabama's offensive line does the best job of. Just getting helmets on helmets. Again, LaRon White, number 51, was pulling around the corner, leading that sweep play. See number 51, LaRon White, fullback also. Travis Smith, number 48, leading the Dennis Riddle up in the line.
Second down. Riddle to the left side. Going to be a gain of maybe one, and that's it. Chuck Wiley has him, and now a third down situation for the Alabama Crimson Tide.
The strength of LSU's defense is their tackles. Anthony McFarland, we talked about him earlier, an outstanding defensive tackle. And also Chuck Wiley, number 55. They get a good push up inside with those two big tackles.
On the LSU side, they're on their feet, begging this defense to put up a barrier here. It's third down, and the line to make is the 36-yard line of LSU. Blitz from the outside, and up the middle. Kitchens is hit. That is Rayon Hill, along with Mike Sutton. Now there are 6 sacks against Alabama tonight.
And it's tough to overcome 6 sacks because when you look at Freddie Kitchens' statistics in the first half, he had lost 25 yards. And when you take those 25 yards, it's tough to make those third down conversions on sacks.
Aiden Stockton about to kick it away to Kevin Falk. Great coverage kick. Falk signals for a fair catch, but runs away from it, and it takes an LSU bounce. 50 yards on the kick, so we'll take a timeout. Alabama continues to lead 7-0.
Do you know what I like about dreaming? If we dream, anything's possible. Some people think instead of dreaming all day, there are better things we could be doing. I think if we all spent a little more time dreaming, we could do better things.
The Chrysler Sebring Coupe and Convertible. It's what happens when you spend a little more time dreaming.
The legendary chalice of Malta has never come cheap. In 1238, it was captured by 10,000 Celts. In 1512, it took an entire armada. And in 1703, it took an arranged marriage to the daughter of Charles V, the older one. But luckily, if you want the golden chalice of Malta, all you need is the golden card of Visa, with extraordinary purchase power for extraordinary things. It's even mightier than the sword. Visa Gold, it's everywhere you want to.
ESPN's coverage of Saturday primetime is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be. Well, in 1946, LSU had one of its finest teams, as the Tigers had not beaten the Crimson Tide in Tiger Stadium since their first meeting in 1895. Well, 50 years ago to the day, it was a showdown of SEC legends. Alabama's Harry Gilmer was outdueled by LSU's Y.A. Tittle, and the Tigers won it 31-21 en route to a 9-1-1 record and also a berth in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. Foster in motion, little counter play. Falk Gets one block and then covered up. Rudd, 87, coming over the top. Also 41, Ralph Staten. Boy, these linebackers have been great.
Rudd and Samuel made the tackle. Picked up 2. Second down, 8. At the Tiger 22.
Brian Sparacino's numbers, Ron, for the first half, 3 of 14 in a reserve role.
Quick pass to Falk. Lost the football. Couldn't hold on. Kevin Jackson out there on the cover on him. LSU tries to get a little isolation outside.
Yeah, trying to get the running back Kevin Falk outside against the safety Kevin Jackson. They're pretty good safeties, though, so it's a pretty good matchup for Alabama. Mike DeBose again calling the defenses tonight, using his secondary. Has Deshae Townsend hurt in this ball game, so Kelvin Ziegler has come up big so far.
Third down. They need the 30. Staten coming from the outside. Sparacino's pass. Oh, my goodness. He fought it. He didn't caught it. He fought it. Foster, no one's any more upset than he is. But, boy, what a gigantic play, because that means now 3 plays and out. That defense has got to come right back out on the field. They need a little bit more of a breather.
Well, that makes 1 out of 9 on third downs. Larry Foster has this football. You can't ask Brian Sparacino to throw it any better. Just couldn't hold on.
Wobbly spiral, which will not turn over, and Goss makes the fair catch down at the 39. It's a 40-yard punt. Well, there's more college football on ABC Sports next week at noon. Number 14, Penn State against Michigan, and followed at 3:30 with regional coverage. Ohio State at Indiana, North Carolina at Virginia, UCLA at Arizona, and Oklahoma at Texas A&M. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Kellen Winslow coming to you from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. 7-0. Crimson Tide leads. Riddle hit behind the line of scrimmage. Ball is loose. McFarland made the hit, and LSU has recovered.
You're looking for a big play. Anthony McFarland caused the fumble. He was in the backfield, made the hit. McFarland on the play, hits Riddle, punches the football out, causes the fumble. LaRon White pulled on that play, and McFarland got right in his pocket.
So McFarland does double duty, causes the fumble, and then gets the recovery. Play action. Sparacino goes on top. Pass drop. That is 2 in a row that have hit the receivers right in the hand. That's Beard this time.
Ron, and that ball by Sparacino was thrown with great pressure being put on him by Michael Myers, number 60, 96. Hit him as he threw the football. Again, another drop. You got to make those plays. Look at this pressure. Brian Sparacino's throwing under, but still threw a good ball. Was thrown to a spot. Just dropped. Well, you expect Alabama to heat him up right now. They are not going to sit there in this defensive set.
Second down and 10. Pass caught by LaFleur. Juggled it, then down at the 25. I think even as big as he is, if LaFleur had dropped it, Sparacino might have gone after one in the chops.
They brought the blitz. Linebackers are going to come, but look at the offensive line and the running back, Rondell Mealy, pick up the blitz. David LaFleur, who is 6'7", 278 pounds, against Kevin Jackson. He uses his body to make this catch for the first down.
Robert Tyler in motion to the bottom of your screen. And they go with the running play, and Falk hit behind the line of scrimmage by Kelvin Moore. and he's going to lose maybe a couple of yards on the play. Kellen, let's check in with you down on the sideline.
Ron and Mike, we just saw that great catch by LaFleur in the bobble there. But as a guy who's going to be a great player in the National Football League, one thing he's got to learn to do is to reach out and catch that ball before it gets into his body. He reaches out and catches that ball away from his body. It's a clean catch. Defensive back has no effect on the play. But he waited for the ball to come into his body, gave the defensive back a chance to come up and make the play, made it a more difficult catch than it had to be.
No, you're right, Kellen. And Mel Kiper, our draft guru, has him ranked as the third best player, not including juniors this year.
Timeout on the field, 9:01 left, third quarter. We'll be right back.
If we don't dream of doing more, won't we just end up doing more of the same?
The Chrysler Sebring JXI convertible. Get a lease for just $289 a month. The Chrysler Sebring convertible, as far as it gets for more of the same.
Gotta have fire. Slapping, lapping, fancy flames, flicking chicken from every side until marinated bird and garlic and lime has turned from good into sublime. Oh, what has Chili's thus created? Why, it's margarita grilled chicken consummated, served horizontally, grill marks up on a tostada with a lot of what your mouth waters for. That rib sticking margarita grilled chicken, 'cause Chili's grills like no place else.
The Crimson Tide roll into Starkville. Alabama, Mississippi State, next Saturday at 9, only on ESPN.
7-0 Alabama, but that lead is being threatened right now as through that maze of people. You look at Riddle. He fumbled just a moment ago as he was hit by Anthony McFarland. The ball was knocked away, and then McFarland also made the recovery. Nail-biting time, I'd say. LSU has scored one, but they got it called back. They need one here. Sparacino. Incomplete at the 15. Let's check in with Mike Tirico.
Ron, this McDonald's breakaway takes us to the desert, and they're going to celebrate on Mill Avenue tonight. Arizona State will be Rose Bowl bound. Here's another Terry Battle score. They just added another one, 34-7. Meantime, over on the deuce, East Carolina getting closer. Dan Gonzalez, touchdown pass to Lamont Chappelle. Right now, the Virginia Tech home lead is just 7.
Well, we said a while ago that a lot of fight in those kids from East Carolina. Our situation, third down. They need the 15-yard line. Staten coming after him, and a mix-up there as he had to get rid of it too quickly. Foster and LaFleur were very close to each other, but talk about a hot route.
Well, what they were trying to do on that run was to pick. They felt like they'd be in man coverage, and they were going to try to pick them. Both LaFleur going outside. They're trying to pick it for LaFleur. David LaFleur, the tight end, to be able to free it up, and it just took too much of a blitz to get it off. It was open.
This is going to be a fake, and the pass is thrown incomplete to Falk as they set up the field goal at the last moment. Falk came from a blocking position on the right out to a flanker spot on the left, and the ball was thrown short.
Alabama played it pretty well. I'm not so sure he'd have picked up the first down, even if he'd have made the catch. Again, you're trying to find ways to get on the board against a very, very solid defensive football team.
Straight ahead, Alexander. Sean Alexander breaks clear to 50. Needs a block. 30. 20, 15, cuts it back, and he will score. 73 yards.
What made that run so special, Ron, is he broke a lot of tackles on his way for that touchdown. They had a lot of shots at Curtis Alexander and couldn't bring him down.
Extra point blocked. So we'll come back and tell you who in just a second. 8:26 left, third quarter. And our new score, Alabama 13, LSU nothing.
At DL Pimper Group, our family wants to help your family with all of your conservative investment needs.
Good morning, DL Pimper Group Alliance. This is Janice.
Don, 401k plan got 92% participation. Great.
Dave, did you get your statements on this client?
And we can do that just any time you'd like to.
Let DL Pimper Group help with your investment needs. 232-0012.
Throughout the history of football, there have been many great innovations. Protective padding, cheerleaders, and Bojangles Super Tailgate Special. 12 pieces of delicious Cajun spiced chicken, 6 made-from-scratch biscuits, 3 large fixins, and a half-gallon of fresh brewed iced tea. Use your head and get a Super Tailgate Special, only at Bojangles. You'll love it, even if you don't like football. Bojangles, come taste the difference.
And what's got 10 legs and kicks butt? Dig. Wake Forest is the team for me. Baddest mothers in the ACC. Demon Deacons ringing up the score. Packing their bags for a trip to the Final Four. The Jams. The Slams. Ah, that Duncan kid's name. It ain't just a noun. It's a verb. It's a bad verb.
Thanks for the grammar lesson.
13-0 now. Alabama's lead increases over LSU, and that 73-yard touchdown run just a moment ago matched what Alabama had in 26 rushes earlier. You look at McFarland on the sideline, and they look on in dismay because they have played so well, but pow, one big play.
And they had chances at Sean Alexander, just didn't make the tackle.
This is fought from the 3. Then the burst of speed. And the kicker, Watts, has to knock him out of bounds.
LSU tried to set up a fake field goal on this last play. Get a wing back running on. They have Falk going out to the outside. There's the fake. Ball's thrown poorly. Now the next play, Alabama gets the ball to Sean Alexander. Now watch, there's 1 tackle, 2 tackles, 3 tackles. Then he breaks through the secondary and then gets a big block by Michael Vaughn.
Sparacino's got to get this crowd back in the ballgame. That ball tipped at the line of scrimmage. Myers is the man who got a hand on it.
Well, Michael Myers is just one of those defensive linemen that's always going to be a factor in the ball game. He's so quick off the ball. Morris Watts, the offensive coordinator, said we just have to find a way to control him. They wanted to double team him in the run and get some help on the passing game. 7 sacks this year.
Tyrone Frazier goes top of your screen. He's out to the right along with 22 Larry Foster. Mealy. And he's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Dwayne Rudd got a hand on him. And now it's going to be 3rd down and 10.
Well, Alabama's linebackers run so well. Dwayne Rudd, who committed to Tennessee, and then he decided on Alabama because the linebacker tradition is just tough to block when he goes sideline to sideline.
Well, we told you in the lineups that Staten had turned an ankle in practice 3 days ago, but he's not showing any effects of that in this ball game tonight. Pass well overthrown. Let's check again with Mike Tirico. Mike.
Ron, on the ground, Texas has run for 324 yards, not even through 3 quarters. Texas Tech is hanging in there. Zebby Lethbridge going to run 40 yards for this score. Pulls up a little bit lame towards the end. We'll check his status later. The lead is 10. Meantime, Southern Miss leads by 7. If they win the Conference USA Championship.
All right, Michael, our situation 13-0 with 7:23 left in the 3rd quarter. And Alabama's coming after it and almost got it. LSU fans want a flag, but there will be none. 44 yards on the kick. ESPN2 has the best college football, 12:30. The Florida Gators take on South Carolina. And this game is in the swamp. Then at 7 o'clock, Southern Mississippi trying to stop Warwick Dunn and Florida State. And at 10 o'clock, it's an interstate rivalry as Norfolk heads to Hampton all next Saturday on the Deuce.
Well, the first 26 rushes netted 72 yards, and then Sean Alexander on one play got 73. So that's the whole philosophy again, Gene Stallings. You keep running, and eventually you're going to break a big play.
There's the flag coming down. Alexander, fresh legs coming into the lineup. He's got both touchdowns, and he came in fresh leg situation both times. Ball start on the offensive line. So LSU has had situations where offensively they moved it down to the 5, had 12 men on the field when they scored. They did not even get a field goal. Then they get a fumble in great field position a moment ago, and they come away empty-handed on that situation as well. And thus they are down 13-0 to Alabama.
Well, now they're going to go with 2 tight ends. They bring in Rutledge, 86, and Patrick Hape, trying to again spread this LSU defense out a little bit, and I'm sure to try to get the ball in Sean Alexander's hands. We talked about big game atmosphere tonight here at LSU. They had these fans were ready.
Oh, they have just continued to work and work everything that they can to get this football team to come through. And of course, Kitchens now with his back right there. He is in front of the student section. Very hard to hear. This time, Sean Alexander knocked down again by McFarland. Also, Greg Hill comes up to help make the hit.
Yeah, they bring Greg Hill out of the secondary, number 25, to make the play. But Anthony McFarland, they have not been able to block him tonight. 94, trying to work against that double team. He just stays alive, keeps his feet moving, makes the tackle on Sean Alexander after Greg Hill initial hit.
Trevor Smith with the 48 back into the lineup, and you see him as split backs with Sean Alexander. Kitchens, great protection pass, just a little too low over the middle. Calvin Hall is who he wanted. And Cedric Donaldson was there on the cover.
Freddie Kitchens looked like he couldn't get enough on this football. Good pass protection here. Still, the ball should have been caught in front of Cedric Donaldson. Calvin Hall should have had that play. And Ron, if there was one most valuable player tonight for Alabama, of course, I picked Sean Alexander. But I'll tell you, their punter, Hayden Stockton, has really punted the football well. And he's been a difference in this ball game for this Alabama football team.
Really has. 3rd down. And they need the 27-yard line. Kitchens pass, lobs it, overthrown. Michael Vaughn is who he wanted. Mark Roman was trying to cover.
And we'll see if Hayden Stockton can do it again.
So Stockton, let's see if he can come through again. He's been huge all night for the Crimson Tide. Kevin Falk, 31 yards, his longest tonight, and he is well back. He's looking for a boomer. And he gets it. Wow, what a nice high kick. Falk at the 37. Two flags come down, and it's going to be a block in the back against LSU. 52 yards in the kick, and then walk them back even further.
He's been big tonight. Hayden Stockton will get a lot of praise from Gene Stallings in this football game, and Curly Hallman, who coaches the kickers.
Well, in the race for the West, Alabama and LSU 4-1, Auburn 4-2, and conceivably, as I mentioned off the top of the telecast, we could wind up with a three-way tie in the battle for the SEC West. Kevin Winslow down on the sideline. Understand you have a guy there with you who can help explain what would happen in case there was a tie.
That's right, Mike. And Ron, I'm here with Roy Kramer, the commissioner of the Southeast Conference. We know Florida today, Commissioner, clinched the East. In the West, if Alabama wins today and Auburn beats Alabama in 2 weeks, a game on ESPN, we have a tie situation. What happens?
Well, if that case happens, we have a vote of the 8 athletic directors that aren't affected to determine who goes to that championship game. If that happens to turn out to be a tie, then we would go to the tiebreaker between those two teams with head-to-head competition. For instance, if the vote ended up with a tie between LSU and Alabama, then whoever wins this game would be in it. Or if it were a tie between Alabama and Auburn, it would go to that tiebreaker. So hopefully we won't get that way. We like to break it up on the field, but it could happen because we've got a great race here in the West.
Indeed we do. The commissioner doesn't get a vote anyway?
Well, I hope not. I don't think so. No, that's the way we break it. We try to break it on the field.
All right, then. Ron, back up to you.
All righty. Thanks very much. Roy Kramer, the longtime commissioner of this league. Pass right here, caught by LaFleur and then being driven back. Kevin Jackson, one of the first men to get there and make the stick on him.
Good tackle again out of the secondary by Ziegler and Kevin Jackson on the floor. They're giving up a lot of size. It's a 6'7" receiver catching the ball on the flat. Now you're going to see both Ziegler, number 20, Jackson, number 7, make the tackle, but it's still a pretty good gain. Now LaFleur gives you a pretty good target for Brian Sparacino. He's made 2 catches in this ball game, and he matches up pretty well against those safeties. And now they're going to split him out. Let's see if they try to get him the ball again.
One of the reasons that he was being pushed back, as you could see in the replay, he was dropping the football. He wanted to make sure he could hold on. Sparacino's pass, well overthrown. Falk is who he wanted.
It's a tough pass right there. The angle he was throwing that football was covered well against Alabama. Covered well by Alabama. Again, Ron, you go back in your practices. The first-team quarterback gets 2/3 of the week work.
Just doesn't get the reps.
And
right.
Brian Sparacino doesn't get as many reps. He has to do it all mental during the week to prepare for this ball game.
Kessler's kick, pressure coming after him. He gets it away. And Goss with the fair catch makes it at the 22. 40 yards on the punt. Oh, 1 week from tonight, we will be in the Carrier Dome as the U.S. Army 9-0 comes in to take on Syracuse. That is a 6 o'clock Eastern time kickoff. Syracuse and Army next Saturday night here on primetime.
Well, I'm sure Paul Pasqualoni, who's the Syracuse head coach, who won today against Tulane, he's going to tell his team as soon as he gets them back to practice that you better play that wishbone well because they can keep the football away from you for a long, long time.
It's a tough adjustment to have to prepare for that because you just don't see it enough. Sean Alexander hit by 94. McFarland. McFarland has been everywhere tonight as a flag is down at the 27.
Boy, he's tough to block. Comes off the ball. I talked to Gil Brandt last year, former Dallas Cowboy personnel director, and he watched McFarland. He said he was the best defensive lineman he saw last year as a freshman. See, again, they try to block him, but he keeps running down the line of scrimmage in pursuit to make the tackle on Sean Alexander.
not especially tall for 290 pounds at 6'1", but you could see his mobility as he closed quickly and made the tackle on that play. And the holding call will push it back to the 16. LSU now over 100 yards in penalties. Kitchen, all the time in the world here, and that pass well covered by the secondary as 27 Cedric Donaldson was there. Let's check in with Mike Tirico.
Ron, obviously one of these teams will lose tonight. That means we'll have 9 teams in major college football with 1 loss. Virginia Tech is still among that group. Brian Edmonds' touchdown here, just an interception in the end zone. Tech has the ball, up 14 on the deuce. Arizona State going to the Rose Bowl. They beat California 35-7.
Well, that's the way to do it. Do it in style, clinch it big time, and that's exactly what they're doing tonight, Mike.
And they'll be facing it most likely Ohio State, who's a pretty fair football team himself.
Sean Alexander carries up over the 25. Chuck Wiley holding on to him.
To keep waiting now defensively. Carl Reese, defensive coordinator, trying to get a turnover. He knows his offense on the other side of the ball has a backup quarterback in, struggling a little bit, so he's trying to call defenses right now to try to get turnovers, try to make a play for Jerry DiNardo's football team. They got the one fumble, but they didn't take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's right. You see the blitz coming up the middle. Rogers, 82, tries to get loose, and Kitchens is going to be sacked. The ball comes loose, but they say it was dead. Dead at the 19.
They can't play much better than this defense has played tonight. Had a couple breakdowns on a couple runs by Sean Alexander, but have really forced the issue and have played a lot of plays. And again, here comes Hayden Stockton back in the ball game. Pass protection again breaks down by Alabama, just a drop by Freddie Kitchens. It didn't look like he was deep enough.
Under 3 minutes to play. This kick is not going to turn over. Swamp calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 44. Well, coming up later in the ball game, we'll be selecting the Visa Players of the Game. On the LSU bench, the defense comes back over for a breather, and they would love to see nothing more than a double figures drive by this offense so they can get a little bit of a breather. They need something big out of him. Can Falk come up big?
Let's see if they try to go to the floor a little bit in this series.
Falk, look at Staten, look at the job he did. Containment, and that's the play right there. He got so much great pursuit then after that, but unable to turn the corner.
The success they had early was running right at Alabama. It's been tough to run sideline to sideline because, as you mentioned, the speed of the linebackers, Staten and Rudd, they're so quick. Getting outside, they beat the blockers.
Look at the yardage in the second half. Over 11 yards for LSU, 122 for Alabama. A complete reversal of what we had in the first half of play.
Run on first down, when you lose 6-7 yards and you're facing second and 16 a lot, tough to pick up.
Even if you got your starting veteran quarterback in there.
And you know Alabama's thinking turnover right here.
You better go get that ball. They can say incomplete pass, close to being a lateral. Grimes putting pressure on.
The pressure on Brian Sparacino again. He didn't really have time to even set his feet to throw the ball out to Robert Tyler. Watch the quarterback, Brian Sparacino, look downfield. Now, he never really gets his feet set. There's the pressure again by Reggie Grimes. 5 of 26 for 69 yards.
And he came up shaking his arm. They don't need another nerve injury.
No. And remember, there's been about 3 or 4 drops. So in fairness to him, he's had some balls that he threw right in there, dropped tonight.
One by Beard, one by Foster. Looking for Beard. Went right through his hands. Now, he did have Sigler with a hand in his face, but I mean, when you see the replay, it's going to come right down between the 8 and the 4.
Well, Brian Sparacino threw this ball. He pumped it, and then he threw and tried to get the ball to Chris Beard. There's Sigler coming over the top. Right through the hands. Looking up for the football. Again, that may look like an easy catch, but Kelvin Sigler's hand may have obstructed his view on that play.
Fair catch is signal for it and is made 45 yards on the punt by Goss.
Ironic. Gene Stallings doesn't mind playing this game now. Just, I'll trade you a punt for a punt. Now, Jerry Nenardo has to find a way. He can't keep trading punt for punt.
Well, his situation for his football team as they check over the young quarterback, Sparacino on the sideline. He kind of drew a line in the sand this week, saying to his ball club, we got to take this next step if we're going to move to be a good football team and a better football team. And so far, they have not been able to answer the call. They've had some opportunities, but things have gone awry, and they're down 13-0. John Alexander breaks one tackle and then gets toppled at the 17 by Stansbury.
Good pursuit again by LSU's defense. Linebackers, we talked about Alabama's linebackers. Alan Stansbury and the linebackers for LSU have been able to go sideline to sideline and make tackles.
Sean Alexander, 6 carries for 106 yards and 2 touchdowns in this ball game. Kitchens, good protection, throws it low, and did he catch it? Yep, they're going to say complete. But Cannon makes the reception just short of the 30-yard line.
Buchanan's running a little route. Broke to the outside and then brought it inside. Cedric Donaldson will make the tackle on it, but it was a nice catch, low ball thrown by Freddie Kitchens.
Mike, I really like this kid, and watching video of Alabama this week, he is going to be a big-time player. Sean Alexander breaks it again, and he's off. Doesn't need a block this time. You can just count it. He left it to 28, and 72 yards later, he's in the end zone. What a night for Sean Alexander.
Well, they've had success on the left side tonight. Their 3 touchdowns have been on that side. Sean Alexander again hitting that left tackle spot, breaking it for a touchdown. They've got to go for 2 now.
Gene almost smiled right then when Alexander came to the sideline. I mean, what a night. Look at this, 178 yards on 7 carries. Curtis Alexander started the year as the #1 tailback. He injured his wrist. Riddle came on. And now they're getting a dose of Sean Alexander. Again, Alabama deep in running backs. There's a timeout. We'll take it with them. 28 seconds left in this 3rd quarter.
If you're going on a business trip, there's one thing you shouldn't forget: to rent a car from Dollar. Because Dollar awards American Airlines Advantage miles. And when you rent on a Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, you'll get double miles on American, America West, Continental, TWA, or United. So you can go someplace where you can forget everything that has anything to do with business. Double frequent flyer miles. Just one more reason Dollar makes sense.
It starts with a full quarter pound of beef, with fresh toppings, our chef sauce, on a bakery soft roll. McDonald's Arch Deluxe. If it were any more grown up, we'd need to check your ID. Oh, thank you. It's McDonald's with a grown-up taste.
It has a lubricating comfort strip, and for a lot of guys, that's not much comfort. Introducing the Norelco Reflex Action Razor. A great shave with less irritation than blades.
You always have to act like a lady.
State Farm is proud to present the 4th Annual Women's Basketball Hall of Fame Tip-Off Classic. Stanford versus Alabama, November 17th on ESPN. Connecticut versus Western Kentucky, November 17th on ESPN2.
Now, this pained expression right here says it all. 19-0. Alabama tries now for a 2-point conversion to try and go up 3 touchdowns. Sean Alexander. 3 touchdowns in tonight's ball game.
Reason for the timeout, LSU had their kick blocking team on, had to get the regular defense back on the field when they saw that Alabama was going for 2.
Vaughn in motion. Kitchens intercepted and then knocked out of bounds. That's Donaldson who got the pickoff in the end zone. So a failed 2-point conversion.
And here's the play. Alabama's bringing both tight ends to one side. Now Patrick Hape will block out. And then you're going to get a block by the fullback, Travis Smith, number 48, to lead Sean Alexander into the secondary. Then not a very, Mark Roman just didn't make the tackle, the free safety, and Alexander's down the sideline for the touchdown. Another look at it. It's a block by Smith.
Roman, that's hard to understand why he didn't plane out on him or something, at least bump him into somebody.
Had success on that side. All 3 scores have been on the left side.
LaRon White. Also Pete DeMario right there, number 72, the senior out of Tuscaloosa. And offensive line. They don't get the headlines. The guy who ran it into the end zone did, but trust me, they will sleep easy tonight knowing that they have done their job and done it extremely well. And what you've seen in the second half is typical Alabama football. Hand it off, keep it on the ground, and play defense. Fought from the 5. Tries to cut it up, but he will not make it to the 20-yard line. Well, catch NFL Countdown tomorrow's Boomer and the Boys. Start your day off right. What is this? Chris Berman goes one-on-one with Jerry Rice. And also, we'll look into the Eagles' success on defense, plus the best news and information on NFL Countdown tomorrow at 11:30.
Now you force LSU to open it up for any kind of shot to win this football game.
Sparacino going up on top. Got it. Tyrone Frazier got behind Cedric Samuel, caught it, and he takes it down inside the 35-yard line.
Now that was concentration by Tyrone Frazier. He looked the ball into his hands. Good coverage. Cedric Samuel at the end. He was beaten, came back, got his hands up, trying to get his hands up to throw the Frazier off. Frazier just makes the catch. And again, Ron, that's another nice throw by Sparacino. He throws the deep ball very well.
one of the things that Samuel is confronted with, and of course he can't help it. But Cedric's only 5'9", and lack of height gives him some problems. That is the end of the third quarter, so let's take a break. Alabama 19-0.
If you're going on a business trip, there's one thing you shouldn't forget: to rent a car from Dollar. Because Dollar awards American Airlines Advantage miles. And when you rent on a Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, you'll get double miles on American, America West, Continental, TWA, or United. So you can go someplace where you can forget everything that has anything to do with business. Double frequent flyer miles. Just one more reason Dollar makes sense.
It starts with a full quarter pound of beef, with fresh toppings, our chef sauce, on a bakery soft roll. McDonald's Arch Deluxe. If it were any more grown up, we'd need to check your ID. Oh, thank you. It's McDonald's with a grown-up taste.
It has a lubricating comfort strip, and for a lot of guys, that's not much comfort. Introducing the Norelco Reflex Action Razor. A great shave with less irritation than blades.
You always have to act like a lady.
State Farm is proud to present the 4th Annual Women's Basketball Hall of Fame Tip-Off Classic. Stanford versus Alabama, November 17th on ESPN. Connecticut versus Western Kentucky, November 17th on ESPN2.
Just because something's always been done one way, does that mean it's the only way?
The Chrysler Sebring LXI Coupe. Receive $500 cash back. The Chrysler Sebring. Now there's a better way to build a coupe.
What's all this malarkey about how tough football players used to be? Used to be? Who's tougher than Reggie White? Bum hamstring, and he's still tossing linemen around like bocce balls. And if that locomotive can bring the heat with his leg on the fritz, imagine what it'll do to you healthy. Brother, they'll be taking team photos with an X-ray camera. Say cheese, wise guy.
19-0. Alabama leads LSU as we open this fourth quarter. But Mike, great field position for the Tigers at this time. They've missed on 2 opportunities tonight. They got to score here.
Well, this is 4-down area for them. This setting right now, down 19-0. Forget any field goals from here on in.
-7 rushing in the second half. Sparacino gets his pass away, and it's going to be intercepted. And out of bounds at the 3 is Sigler. The reason he threw it, maybe when he didn't want to, is that Dwayne Rudd, number 87, was coming after him and cracked him hard from behind.
Well, backup quarterback, you're going to pressure, and they pressured Brian Sparacino all evening, and they got to him again just as he threw the football. He has taken a licking here tonight.
Well, that's Rudd, who just passed the lick on to the quarterback, Sparacino. Well, you can see what happens here.
As if ball fake, he's going to get hit from the blind side, and also hit by Pickett. Paul Pickett hit him too. You have a linebacker like Rudd who can rush from the outside with quickness, and you line him up late on the end of the line of scrimmage. Very difficult for those tacklers to pick him up and block him.
Alexander out of the 10 to the 14. This time Roman does get him as he wraps him up.
There's a hit by Rudd coming off the corner. Tempted to be blocked by David LaFleur.
Well, I'll tell you what, they better do a better job in that, or they're not even going to have a backup quarterback to play in this ball game.
No, they're going to be looking at the third teamer here before long.
Freddie Kitchens, Jr., out of a talent. Mike Sutton defensively will step up and make the hit on Alexander.
Just becomes clock management for Gene Stallings. Now Woody McCorvey, the offensive coordinator, who's calling the plays.
They're not going to be in a hurry to do anything exciting, are they?
No, just want to keep it on the ground, keep the clock moving, keep the chains moving, and let your defense and kicking game do what it's done so well tonight. Of course, you could always expect Sean Alexander to break away again.
Takes it to the right side. He'll go for a couple. You can see Stansbury, one of the first men there. Also 94, McFarland. I don't know how many, we'll check on McFarland, how many tackles he has, but we have certainly called his name and number a lot this evening.
You know, Ron, you got to credit Alabama, again, to come into this atmosphere tonight. This was as good an atmosphere as I've seen for a college football game in a long time. But you got to also remember it's Alabama. They play to these type crowds all the time. So when you say it's a big game, they're used to big games. They're used to big games on the road, and they're used to winning them.
Alexander. 30, almost to the 35-yard line. Walker finally will stop him, and it's another Alabama first down.
Anytime your tailback can gain over 200 yards, you get a good block out of your fullback, Travis Smith, tonight, who's playing most of the night. 209 yards. First 7 games, 143 yards. He's been the difference tonight with the offensive line blocking for him, and the fullback, Travis Smith.
McFarland, by the way, we just got official numbers, has 7 tackles in tonight's ball game. Alexander, and this time they double team him. It is Charles Smith and Anthony McFarland who make a sandwich out of him.
That's pretty good depth when you've got Riddle, who gained 184 yards on 38 carries versus Tennessee, and then you come right back with Sean Alexander, and he gains over 200 yards against LSU.
And Curtis Alexander, who's on the bench, who has been out with a wrist injury, was the starter back, what, 4 weeks ago, and so you've got him as well. '83, Calvin Hall breaks the huddle and comes out to the left side. Sophomore out of Gallatin, Tennessee. Kitchens pass. Nobody close. And the crowd, what they're asking for is intentional grounding, because Brady missed everybody by about 25 yards.
Well, I think he felt Calvin Hall was going to run a corner route, and Calvin Hall thought he was going to run a curl route, so something was not in sync there for the quarterback and Calvin Hall.
6 of 18, 61 yards. The thing that this man knows full well, he was so disappointed after the game up in Knoxville because he felt as though they had ample opportunities, not opportunities, but opportunities to win, and they didn't. Alexander. Sean having problems finding a place to run. He'll take it to the 40 before Stansbury puts it into that one.
They felt like they played very well on defense, held Peyton Manning down, held the Tennessee offense in check.
Stansbury is down. Shaken up on that play, so the training staff is out to look him over. You know, and in case you did not join us off the top of the telecast and have wondered why Herb Tyler has not been playing quarterback back in the first quarter, injured a nerve in his arm, and it's the right throwing hand that is bothered, and that's the reason he has not been to the ball game. At Sparacino, here's the play right here. You'll see him go down. and he's hit right there. And Mike, that cleat and that shoe underneath his arm, I don't know if it had anything to do with the injury or not, but it certainly didn't help. And he's been on the bench. He's tried to throw and grip the ball, but he had to lead 3 of 5, 63 yards, his longest 32. But I'll tell you, LSU started off this ball game. They took it right down the field. Back-to-back plays, 26 yards, 32 yards. They go to the 5-yard line. They throw the touchdown pass. 12 men on the field. And then Alabama's defense took over, pushed them back. They missed the field goal attempt. And that was the beginning of the book on this one tonight.
When they missed 2 field goal attempts, and that really hurt them. And this has been a big edge for Alabama tonight. 9 punts by Hayden Stockton. He's put them in good field position, their defense.
Line drive kick. Falk will have an opportunity on this one from the 18. Up the sideline, 40 and ahead. About 1 man to beat. He'll take it to the 45. Boy, he is exciting. Let's take a break. 43 yards on the kick. Right back after this.
I'll buy 10 of these. You're Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders? It's him. You're the greatest, man. Mind if I get a picture? Thanks, bro. You mind if I write a check? Sure, Deion. I'm just going to need to see some ID. Say what?
Yes, like a driver's license, a library card, checks. What a pain.
Your license?
Employee ID.
But now there's a better way. The Visa Check Card. It's an ATM card with a Visa logo that deducts from your checking account automatically everywhere Visa's accepted.
I'm going to have to call to see if you can cover this.
The Visa Check Card works just like a check, only better.
It's Saturday afternoon, almost game time. The TV's on, your feet are up. You've got the remote control in one hand, a great tasting ice-cold Miller Lite in the other. And as you take that first ice-cold sip, there's only one way to describe it.
What happens when you don't just make something? You invent something.
The Chrysler Cirrus LXI. Now receive $1,000 cash back. The Chrysler Cirrus. The difference between just making something and inventing something.
ESPN's coverage of Saturday primetime is brought to you by Chrysler and the cab-forward sedans of Chrysler. What's new in your world? Sean Alexander. Now, through the first 7 games of this year, he had moderate success, and tonight it's been more than moderate as he is over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns in this ball game. What an evening. Baracino sets in the pocket, drills it complete to his tight end LaFleur, and Jackson hits him immediately.
Well, you talk about Sean Alexander. The people in Florence, Kentucky are going to be proud of him. Right across the river from Cincinnati, chose Alabama and give him a pretty good back, pretty good 1-2 punch.
Pickup of 6, 2nd and 4 at the Alabama 49. Set up.
Straight up the middle, and he gets blasted down hard. You can see 96 Myers along with Sigler.
Kevin Falk just keeps running hard. Recruited by Notre Dame, Florida, Florida State. First thing Jerry DiNardo did when he came here was make sure he got Kevin Falk. They televised it statewide. His signing, Curly Hallman had started it. He had him pretty well set up. But that was an important signee for Jerry DiNardo. And there's Curly standing up there. It's got to be a very emotional football game for him tonight.
Straight ahead with Neely. Fights his way across the 45 down to around the 44. Chris Hood makes the stop.
First down for the Tigers.
Curly Hallman was the head coach at Southern Mississippian and took the job over here, Ron. And as I said earlier in this broadcast, he had him right there. He had him, and if he'd had another year, I think he would have had some success here.
That's LaFleur inside the 40, takes it down to the 37 before Buckner makes the tackle on him. And you can see Tyrell Buckner is limping off the field there.
David LaFleur is a weapon. He's a target as he comes across. Kellen made the point earlier about him catching the football. Reached behind here against Tyrell Buckner to make that catch and bring it in.
4 receptions now for 31 yards for LaFleur. 6'7", 278 pounds. Buck, nothing inside, tries to bounce it out, and whoa, you can see Michael Fagan come up and really blast it. Let's go down to Kellen Winslow. Kellen.
Well, Ron, you were talking about David LaFleur. Some NFL scouts think he has the ability to play tackle also, you know, at that size, 6'7", 278, but he runs so well. Moving down the field, using those routes across the middle, he's a huge target, and LSU just needs to get him the ball more, especially in this ball game.
Well, I think the coaches said that human nature, but he plays a little harder when he knows he is a big part of the game plan. In the first half tonight, they used him primarily as a blocker.
Well, they had to use him as a blocker with the design they had in the passing game because they wanted to max protect the passing game.
Well, that time even LaFleur's 6'7" wouldn't help. Well overthrown.
Well covered, too. Ralph Staten on the blitz. Good coverage by Michael Fagan again. That was the pass play early in the ball game that they threw for the touchdown. Fernando Bryan, who was hurt early in the ball game, covering also on David LaFleur with good coverage.
So LaFleur has had a full night of it as a blocker and also as a receiver. He's going to find rest and sleep to come very easy tonight. Under 8 minutes to play in the game. That one thrown complete to Frazier right over the middle. And they say incomplete. Didn't catch it. Bryant was there on the cover. And with the 4th down situation, the ball goes over and Alabama stops and they'll take it over.
I think again another pretty well thrown ball. Just couldn't hold on. Tyrone Frazier. Education of a backup quarterback tonight. Tough enough to go in the ball game when Herb Tyler gets hurt, but you're facing probably one of the best defenses in the conference in Alabama.
We mentioned about Jerry DiNardo as far as this game tonight. Kind of said to his team, we're going to draw a line in the sand and put the challenge to you. These are the kind of games you got to learn how to win. As Sean Alexander makes the carry. And he said, we may win, we may not. But he said, it's one of the chances that you have to take. You have to present that kind of challenge because every year games will become bigger as you move from one step, one plateau to another and improve your football team. And that's what LSU has got to do.
And a tough break for him tonight when you lose your starting quarterback right off the ball game. And
2 things, Mike. If they score on that opening sequence without the 12th man on the field, and then at least they got a 7-point lead. A little gambling more maybe on defense, but they got out of step early and were not able to retrieve it as Alexander hit behind the line by Anthony McFarland. McFarland has just been sensational tonight. He's done everything that they've asked and a little bit more.
Well, the Alabama offense will make sure that he's on the all-opponent team because he has really had a night tonight where he has controlled the line of scrimmage.
You know, he also was the fullback on that play that they had the 12th man in the field. Yeah, they put him in short yardage to block.
One thing I'm sure of, he was supposed to be in there.
I think that point's well taken. 3rd down Alabama, and they need to take the ball to the 47-yard line to keep this drive going. And no surprise here, Alexander gets the carry and behind a nice block by Jeremy Pennington, number 79. He'll pick up the 1st down before Pat Rogers slows him down.
That's a 272-pound tackle. You're talking about Jeremy Pennington leading that play. get those tackles, guards pulled up where they can run and get on the outside and get that back behind them. That's a pretty good target to follow.
Jeremy, a senior out of Vernon.
Ron was with a pretty good quarterback from Alabama the other day. Bart Starr was on the plane with him, and you talk about a gentleman and a great representative of the university. Fine, fine person.
Oh, an excellent football player as well. On the next level, Kitchens fumbles the ball, is able to get on it. He's fortunate that ball didn't get kicked around, but he'll make the recovery.
Had a great time talking to him about Vince Lombardi and all the years at Green Bay and his special relationship with his coach.
Kellen, let's check in with you. What do you have for us?
Well, just another great tradition at Alabama. You guys talking about Bart Starr, also the Alabama offensive lineman. The two members, John Hanna and Dwight Stevens, being fellow members of mine at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So for them to come out and run the ball like they do, it's all a part of their game.
Yep, that's the trademark. No question about that. Sean Alexander cuts it back. Still going and out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Roman knocks him out of bounds, and he's trying for 300 yards.
Sean Alexander can cut back, show the burst of speed up inside. Now at 267. Breaks in backside, gets good blocking. Now bursts up the inside, sees he can't take it all the way. Now breaks outside, trying to get outside Denard Walker, number 24. Mark Roman, who's been a busy safety.
Boy, for the people left on Alabama's schedule, as you look at this stat right here, since 1989, for the people left on Alabama's schedule, as he scores his 4th touchdown of the night, they got to be saying, hey, not another great tailback at Alabama.
I want to go back to that Tennessee game. Dennis Riddle, a great game he played against Tennessee. And then Sean Alexander comes out here tonight. It's the biggest difference in this ball game.
Four touchdowns, Sean Alexander.
That's Michael Vaughn, a wide receiver, giving a pat on the back to Gene Stallings for the play calling by he and Woody McCorvey tonight.
Extra point attempt by Brock right down the middle. So with 4 minutes, 28 seconds left in this one, all Alabama. We'll be right back.
I heard someone say, what will they think of next? And I thought, how wonderful it is to imagine that someone is out there thinking of things. And that's their job, to think of something that no one has ever thought of. And all we have to do is wait and wonder, what will they think of next?
The Chrysler Cirrus, Concord, and LHS, bringing what's next from the cab-forward engineering of Chrysler.
Sears is filled to capacity with tires for whatever you drive. And right now, all Goodyear tires are on sale at the lowest prices of the season. Only at our garage, the Sears Auto Center.
Now, with 50% more tender filet than before, McDonald's new Fish Filet Deluxe is sure to satisfy your grown-up needs and desires. For lunch. It's McDonald's with a grown-up taste.
If you're going on a business trip, there's one thing you shouldn't forget: to rent a car from Dollar. Because Dollar awards American Airlines Advantage miles. And when you rent on a Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, you'll get double miles on American, America West, Continental, TWA, or United. So you can go someplace where you can forget everything that has anything to do with business. Double frequent flyer miles. Just one more reason Dollar makes sense.
Southern Miss brings a stingy defense to face Warwick Dunn and mighty Florida State. Next Saturday at 7, only on ESPN2.
Well, into the night here in Baton Rouge, you will hear Roll Tide Roll, and boy, they have tonight. I tell you what we just found out. Alexander is 4 yards away from the all-time, actually 5 yards from breaking the all-time individual game. Bobby Humphrey did 284 yards, and right now Sean Alexander is at 280. He might get an opportunity to break it.
I'd say they'll get the ball again. They have that chance if they keep him in the ball game.
William Watts, wild thing, picks it off for the Crimson Tide. This is Falk at the 2.
From the 1-yard line.
And Kevin got to be hit from behind at the 25. Mike Tirico, what do you have for us?
Oh, Ron, we kind of dismissed that Texas Tech game. After all, the Longhorns had a 25-point lead at one point. Back comes Texas Tech. Zebby Lethbridge, circus catch, Donnie Hart. 33 yards, now a 3-point game with 4:50 left.
Mike Tirico, I would remind you, Texas has already lost 3 games that they led and had the football late in the 4th. So this is just same song several verses later. Garcino's pass incomplete on the sideline for Bates.
Hey, when you look at Alabama tonight, also playing without Deshae Townsend, you got to credit that secondary. Again, a good pass rush by Myers and the other defensive linemen, but Sigler stepped up. Kevin Jackson, Cedric Samuel, Fernando Bryant, Fegan. I mean, that's been a pretty well played secondary tonight with one of your leaders down, Deshae Townsend.
Second down pass, intercepted. Sigler trying to keep it on the field of play and knocked out of bounds at the 26.
Well, Curly Hallman sitting in that press box right now. He coaches that secondary, and that is the icing on the cake for Curly Hallman tonight.
So the situation now is, let's see if 37 Sean Alexander does in fact come back in the football game as Sigler makes the pick. Yep, he is. 4 yards to tie and 5 to break the all-time individual game rushing record for Alabama. He has 280 right now. Well, now he needs 6. Let's check in with Kellen Winslow. Kellen, what do you have for us?
Well, Ron, the starting running back Riddle tonight has a tight hamstring, and they wanted to give Alexander a chance to see if he could get things going, and he did, and they decided to hold Riddle out. The moral to that story is don't get hurt.
Well, there used to be a first baseman named Wally Pip.
That's right.
I hope Lou Gehrig came on the scene, and Lou Gehrig, Sean Alexander tonight.
He lost a yard on that last play. Little counter play to the outside. There's the record. Inside the 20, down to the 15, and you're looking at, unless he loses yardage on any plays after this, you're looking at the all-time individual game rushing record holder. 291 right now. The old record, 284. Bobby Humphrey held it.
And the sideline knew it because Gene Stallings was clapping his hands, so they knew that he was close to that record. They wanted to get him that record. They're going to take him out of this ball game.
Yeah, there he comes out. Quite an ovation from the folks way down in the end zone, and gets congratulated by his head coach. New single game rushing record. Sean Alexander, the freshman out of Florence, Kentucky. Montoya Madden, he's a sophomore out of Town Creek, comes in, number 21.
Ron, don't want to lose the effort by LSU tonight because I thought they did really play hard. They had some unfortunate situations happen to them early. Jerry DiNardo will get this team in some more big games.
Well, Mike, this also 2 weeks from tonight will be in Birmingham, and this sets up a real showdown as far as the battle for the West continuing in the SEC between those two arch rivals, Auburn and, of course, Alabama. Madden at the 5. Trying to get into the end zone. Stopped at the 2. Denard Walker holding on to him.
Like they need something else in that kind of rivalry, because those two are going to get after it. You know, when you look at Curly Hallman and Bill Oliver, who's now coaching for Auburn, the one thing that when you look at Curly Hallman in this ball game, he can bring to a scouting report the exact size, the exact speed. So your matchups, he understands them better. Bill Oliver will know that about Alabama's offense too. Will be able to match his players up size-wise, speed-wise, because he knows what they run.
Falk tonight, 15 carries, 43 yards. Madden. Montoya Madden stopped just short of the end zone. Clock running, about to go under 1 minute to play in this one. Well, we knew we were going to see a defensive struggle, 7-0 at halftime. LSU had an opportunity to make that a 7-7 ball game, but did not. But here in the second half, and isn't it interesting how something like an injury can bring it about? Dennis Riddle has a tight muscle. They don't want to take a chance. They put in Sean Alexander, and the kid runs for a new school single game record.
You have to be ready to play when your number's called.
Madden banged hard at the line of scrimmage. He's not going to get in. And I don't think Alabama's going to have to run another play. And you see Gene saying, nope, just let that clock run out and let's head back to Tuscaloosa. Convincing, yes. 26-0, Alabama wins. And Sean Alexander with a new single game record in this one. Let's take a break. We'll come back and wrap this one up in just a moment. 26-0, our final.
Thank you for calling Sam Satellite City.
I've got some questions about that direct satellite system that I just bought.
Yes, ma'am.
Why can't I get all my favorite channels like I used to get with cable?
You receive all the same channel combinations which are currently available on your cable system. You'll probably have to subscribe to more than one programming supplier.
Will that cost more than cable?
Yes, ma'am.
You didn't tell me that.
You didn't ask.
And why can't I get my local stations anymore?
To get local programming, you'll also need a regular antenna.
A regular antenna?
We have an excellent selection of regular antennas.
Scripps Howard, Northwest Georgia. We make television easy.
I want my cable back.
Emergency care. You never expect it, but when you need it, only the best will do. Emergency care from Floyd Medical Center. The highest technology and the highest level of experience from the area's only state-designated Level 2 trauma center. Only the best when you expect it least and need it most. The Emergency Care Center at Floyd Medical Center. It's about life. It's about you.
Between Terry Labonte and the Winston Cup Championship. But before he can move to the winner's circle, he's got to hold off Jeff Gordon and Dale Jarrett in the last race of the season. The Napa 500 from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Tomorrow at 12:40 on ESPN.
We got ace right trip flip, fullback motion, Q hot Louie, half 17, quarterback redraw, on two, ready?
The Giants try to outsmart Carolina on ESPN Sunday Night NFL.
26-0 our final. Alabama wins it. Tonight's Visa players of the game are from Alabama, obviously. Sean Alexander, 20 rushes, 291 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And from LSU, Anthony McFarland, 10 tackles, 1 for a loss, 1 fumble recovery. As part of their continuing effort to further the development of amateur athletics, Visa is proud to donate $1,000 to each of these universities on behalf of these athletes. And in fact, as he headed off the field, Sean Alexander, a reporter asked him, why did it work so well? He said, I don't know, I was just trying to run hard. Well, Alabama is running hard toward the West, and these are the new standings. Alabama 5-1, LSU and Auburn 4-2, and of course 2 weeks from tonight we will be in Birmingham, and it could be the decider of who wins the West in the Southeastern Conference. Once again, our final, Alabama 26, LSU nothing. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Now let's join Mike Tirico for the Residence Inn College Football Scoreboard.
Okay, Ron, so Alexander really typifies this day in college football. We had Ron Dane go over 200 yards, nearly 300 for Wisconsin. We had Darnell Autry go over 200 yards. See Alexander today. The year of running backs and defense continues in college football. Welcome to the Residents in College Football Scoreboard Show. We're with you for about the next 45 minutes. Of course, there's the big heavyweight fight in Vegas. We're going to keep a very close eye on that. If it starts during our scoreboard show, we'll keep you updated. But today was a major league day in college football. We nearly turned the entire season upside down. We're going to break it all down, all the highlights, all the post-game reaction. Chris, Lee, and Kirk are hanging out outside of Death Valley, where they saw Sean Alexander come up with a huge day, a record day for an Alabama back, as the Tide rolls by 26. All the scores and highlights coming up.
If we all settled for good enough, would things ever be good enough?
The luxurious Chrysler LHS. Now get a lease for just $359 a month. The Chrysler LHS. This goes way beyond good enough.
A long time ago, someone said, "I'm better than you." Warriors collide. They meet in the air, on the ground, under piles. Enter a guy named Madden. Suddenly, players sweat more, look hungrier, get dirtier. His raw genius is everywhere. Tackles become hits. Front lines become trenches. Every inch a mile. Every bomb atomic. Plays are bigger than mouths, and they're barking. I'm better than you, and I can prove it. Madden NFL 97. If it's in the game, EA Sports. It's in the game.
I'm not everyone, I'm me. So when I decided to quit smoking, I did not choose that one-size-fits-all patch. I chose Nicorette gum. Nicorette has this flexible dosing schedule that helped me control my cravings. It let me use the strength I needed, the amount I needed when I needed it. Nicorette was personal. It fit me. You know, me the non-smoker. Me.
Commit to quit for the great American Smokeout on November 21st. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
My brakes are gone. Any chance I could get that fixed in a couple of hours?
Tell you what, leave it here. I'll see what I can do. Check in periodically.
I was wondering, how's my car coming?
I have 3 of my best guys on it right now.
With Pep Boys 12 service bays and expert technicians, you're in and out fast. 26,000 items, tires, and service too. Pep Boys, everything but gas.
Their goals are as basic as a first home, an education, a secure retirement. Yet they own over half of all the stock in America. They are individual investors, and for them, nothing is more valuable than information. Today, NASDAQ is delivering news about companies, performance tracking, even timely stock quotes, instantly. So if you're an investor who seeks vital information, you now know where to find it.
You'll find her wherever there's a morning and a road. Distance champion Deanna Sodoma, training and competing all over the world on the strength of her own determination and on the wings of Northwest Airlines.
This scoreboard is brought to you by Residence Inn.
Welcome to the Scoreboard Show. Let's immediately get you updated. Big one in the Big 12 South. The winner has the lead in the conference. Texas and Texas Tech, and Texas has just hit a 54-yard field goal. Philip Dawson makes it 38-32. So change the score. Texas leads by 6, kicking off to Texas Tech in the final minute in Lubbock. We'll keep you updated. The scores change before your eyes. That's the way it's been today as we welcome you to the Residents in College Football Scoreboard. Let's start the day with the major story of Arizona State, trying to lock down the Rose Bowl and the Pac-10 championship against a Cal team that's put up yards and numbers against most everyone, but who could shut down Jake Plummer and Terry Battle? Plummer didn't do much in the air tonight. He just turned and pitched the battle. A standing room only crowd was on their feet at Sun Devil Stadium, cheering for number 8. 45 yards into the Cal secondary here. 3 plays later, Plummer to Battle. Watch the right shoulder move there. 27-yard touchdown, tie the game at 7. That's the score. Snyder's team up second quarter. Now Plummer goes up in the air to Keith Poole. Pulls down a great catch. 35 yards. A reverse involving Keith Poole got it even closer for Battle to run it in. His second touchdown of the game. He would have 4 when all was said and done, and down come the goalposts. The quickest goalpost coming down we've seen in recent memory. The Sun Devils on their way to Pasadena. They are going to the Rose Bowl, winning the Pac-10 by beating Cal 35-7. All the offense, whose defense was going to stand up today? Cal as a team ran for 5 yards. The Arizona State defense sacked Pat Barnes 7 times. Who's going to be there in the Rose Bowl with him? Will it be Ohio State? Well, Joe Germain played at quarterback mostly for Stanley Jackson today. Pepe Pearson set the tone on the ground. Late first half here on ESPN. He had 160 rushing yards in the first half. On this same drive after that long 77-yard run, it's Germain to the air to John Lumpkin for the touchdown. 14-0 Buckeyes. Next drive, 2nd and 10, Germain. Flush gets away from what should have been a sack and finds the other tight end, D.J. Jones, in the back of the end zone. Germain had a good first half, 8 completions, 3 touchdowns. Ohio State rolls 48-0. Won't it be interesting if John Cooper gets Ohio State to the Rose Bowl and meets Arizona State? He was the coach the last time the Sun Devils went to the Rose Bowl. All Ohio State has to do is win their next one at Indiana, and they'll go to the Rose Bowl. We'll explain why as we go along. First, we have to tell you the story of Steve Spurrier's #1 team in the nation, Florida. In a struggle at Vanderbilt. It didn't look like it was going to be a struggle. Danny Werfel, Ike Hilliard, Gators up 21-3. This one's going to be easy, right? But it's 28-14. Vandy's coming back. Jason Donovan bouncing off tackles, breaking free, and a shocking game was 28-21. The Gator lead was just 7. Fourth quarter, Vanderbilt gets the ball back, and they start driving. Damian Allen to Zach Winkler. He pulls in a 23-yarder. There's belief. They're driving. Can they walk down the field and tie the game? It's 4th and 10. They go for it. Allen is pressured by the Florida defense that is beat up. Woody Wittenhopper's defense needed to come up with another stop. Boy, it didn't look like Danny Werfel gained an inch there. But they give him the spot, give him the first down. Rod Dowhauer's team comes up 7 points short. Florida wins 28-21, wins the SEC title for the 5th consecutive year. Even though they had 17 penalties in this game, they made a lot of mistakes. They still find a way to get to the SEC title game. Jason Donovan, who scored that big touchdown, he and Vandy came close, but just not enough to knock off #1.
I think we just played hard, but we left 2 touchdowns on the field today, and you just can't do that against the #1 team. They'll beat you every time.
They're beatable, aren't they?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to get into that. I just think we played a great game, and they got a great team. Give them all the credit. They played the best game, and they came out on top.
I think, if anything, sometimes games like this are good because they really bear you back down, focus and preparation and execution. So sometimes they can be real beneficial, and I think this game will really be good for us.
And Steve Spurrier echoed the comments of his quarterback afterwards. Tennessee and Memphis. Peyton Manning and Tennessee up 14-7 in the third. Watch this kickoff. Kevin Cobb, junior defensive back for Memphis, everyone thought he was down. But credit the back judge for not blowing the whistle because his knee never hit the ground, and Cobb goes 95 yards for a miraculous touchdown to tie the game at 14. The elbow doesn't count. It's got to be the knee that is down. So watch closely on the replay, and great positioning by the official to see that it was the elbow, not the knee, that went down, and Cobb takes it the distance. And this is a tie game, 14-14. Now Hall, the place kicker, got a field goal in the fourth quarter. Tennessee leads by 3. Kadri Anderson, the Memphis quarterback, is back. He's looking. He finds Chauncey Carr. How did he get behind everyone? 41-yard gain. Memphis, their biggest win. You got to go back to Alabama at the end of the 80s. Got to go back to tonight. Anderson to Chris Powers for the game-winning touchdown. Memphis beats Tennessee 21-17. Tennessee held to 85 yards on 49 rushes. It's the first time in 20 games that Tennessee has lost in November. It's the first time in 25 games that Tennessee has lost to someone other than Florida. The man who made the great play on the kickoff return talks about how big a win it was.
Well, it's just an unbelievable feeling, man. We didn't know nobody believed we could do it. We just come out, practice hard all week, and just believe in ourselves, and we knew we could do it.
Anytime you lose, obviously, we didn't come out and play very good football today, and when you do that, you can't win. So I don't compare them. Anytime you lose, you got to hate it.
2, the goalpost count thus far. doing it the hard way. Watch how they got the yards today. Special teams and defense came up with the majority of the yards for Memphis. Rip Shearer's team comes up with an immense win, first time they've ever beat Tennessee. Auburn beat Northeast Louisiana 28-24. They had to drive 70 yards down the field and get a Kevin McLeod touchdown late. Of course, this is a non-conference game, and we're looking ahead a couple of weeks from right now on ESPN in primetime in Birmingham. Auburn takes on Alabama. We're thinking Florida State. Let's find out how they did against Wake Forest without Thad Busby, the quarterback with the injured wrist on the sidelines. First start for Dan Kendra. Lives up to some of the advanced billings. They got some help from some great wide receivers. Peter Warwick, circus, juggling catch. And the touchdown, 42 yards, 21-7 FSU. Next possession, Kendra, who hit 6 straight passes in this stretch. He got pretty hot in the second quarter. To Melvin Pearsall. That made it 28-7. Florida State wins 44-7. Warwick Dunn held to 56 yards. Kendra did not throw an interception. Wake sold this game for $1.2 million. It was supposed to be played in Winston-Salem, but was moved to Orlando, where Florida State sees their record go to 8-0. So Kendra and Jermaine, the guys who are not the starters normally for their teams, the highly ranked teams, the undefeated teams, come in and do a very efficient, effective job as their teams come away with victories today. Other teams near the top of the polls. Well, we check out Nebraska taking on Missouri in Lincoln. First quarter problem. Misery for Missouri. They mess up the punt. Jay Sims recovers for Nebraska, led to a touchdown. It's 7-0. Vince Sabo, snap hit him in the face. Safety. 9-0. See Terrell Farley, who was everywhere on special teams today for Nebraska. Now Kent Scornia back to pass. Intercepted. Mike Minter takes it to the 3. It set up another Nebraska touchdown. Now Jason Smith into punt. Eric Warfield the block. Watch Terrell Farley. Touchdown, 51-7 Nebraska when it's all said and done. Amon Green, 161 yards on the ground. Nebraska scored 4 touchdowns on 10 plays in the third quarter. They go to Iowa State next, unbeaten in the conference. That is now 29 straight conference wins for Nebraska, second only to the unbelievable Oklahoma teams of the 50s and equaling what Nebraska did about a decade ago. Speaking of Big 12 action, Colorado, they've been pushed the last couple of weeks, haven't they? At home at Folsom Field, taking on Iowa State. Ray Caruth on the business end, 77 yards. The offense has been fine lately. Buffs up on the Cyclones 14-3. You know Troy Davis is going to see the ball no matter what the deficit. Here's Davis taking the handoff, going in from 8 yards out. It cut the Buffs' lead to 1. Davis over 200 yards again today. Fourth quarter, Buffs up 14. Decker back up top. One of his 5 touchdown passes, 401 yards. Caruth caught another one there. Colorado beat Iowa State 49-42. Troy Davis, 228 yards at 18-22 on the season, closing in on back-to-back 2000s untouched territory in major college football history. We welcome those of you who've watched Texas Tech move to the top of the Big 12 South as they beat Texas beat Texas Tech 38-32. And, of course, Texas still has A&M, the game against Kansas, coming up next week. Well, it's been a very long week up on Chestnut Hill in Massachusetts. The gambling stories, the suspensions, handled very quickly and efficiently by the athletic department at Boston College. But there was a football game to be played, and not just any game, one of the biggest games of the season being played on campus in Newton against Notre Dame, a Notre Dame team that was on the other side of the continent. They went to Ireland to play in Dublin last week. So how would their legs respond from the jet lag? Well, BC played very well. A touchdown by Omari Walker tied the game at 21. There was some concern on the Notre Dame side. But 2 Notre Dame possessions later, watch Robert Farmer. Busted outside, and he said, I turned the corner and my eyes lit up because he didn't see anything maroon. They went the distance. An 81-yard touchdown that made it 28-21 Notre Dame. They would go on to score 3 more touchdowns and beat BC 48-21. Omari Walker did have a very nice day on the ground for BC, 158 yards, but not enough. BC is 4-6. The best they can do is a 500 record. Notre Dame now 6-2. Let's go back to Baton Rouge. Check in with Chris Lee and Kirk.
Well, Mike, thank you. This is the Crimson Tide town as we speak. The Bama fans will roll back down I-10 happy. It'd be a good night to not be on I-10, by the way. Alabama makes a strong statement. Coach and Kirk join me. Guys, in the SEC, some big scares, some bowl shakeups. You don't have anything to say, do you? We'll get to you in just a second, but first we want to bring in Bino Cook from Pittsburgh. Bino, what's your reaction to the SEC? We're the worst team in the conference, scares the best team to death. Alabama makes a statement, Tennessee goes down.
Well, I think, Chris, that what Alabama's done this year is quite remarkable. They almost won the Tennessee game, and a bigger thing happened. Gene Stallings actually smiled. Every time I look at him, it makes me think of the captain of the Titanic. He never smiles, but boy, he smiled tonight. I think Alabama's amazing. I mean, they just keep winning.
I agree with you, but their fans are going to think, what if we hadn't let that Tennessee game slip away? Alabama would be very much in the national title hunt. As it is, they would have to be considered the front-runner guys to win that SEC West. If they can take care of business against Mississippi State and Auburn, all of a sudden, that SEC title game wouldn't be such a joke. Should Auburn pull the upset, by the way, you don't even want to know what the tiebreaker is. It would involve a three-way tie, a vote by the commissioners.
Well, I've seen Alabama now in person. I've seen them on television. And let me tell you something. They're as impressive in person as they are on television. I've seen Florida also. I think Alabama could beat Auburn. And I also can tell you right now, a 50-50 chance that Alabama could beat Florida in the Sugar Bowl SEC title game. They're that good. They're a good football team.
Well, Alabama, something they did tonight, which was very impressive. They got Sean Alexander involved in their running game. But in order to be able to mix it up with the Floridas in the SEC, if they get to that SEC championship game, they have got to be able to mix a little bit more of the throw-in. And that means Freddie Kitchens in that passing game has got to step up. But Sean Alexander had a coming-out party tonight.
They're a good team, boy.
And had Bert Tyler not gotten knocked out, perhaps LSU could have stayed in the game a little bit longer. Okay, so Florida gets to the divisional championship and the title game. But what about the polls? 59 first-place votes coming in, only 5 for Ohio State and 2 for Florida State. Bino, give me your top 5 now after the Florida scare. Do you rethink things at all?
No, I'm keeping Florida #1. Remember, Ohio State had a tough time against Wisconsin. So those things happen. Every team has a scare along the way. #2, Florida State. #3, Ohio State. #4, Arizona State. And in 5th place, Nebraska.
Okay, that's exactly how the coaches have it ranked. How do you guys see the polls? I mean, it was a huge lead for Florida, but they did get the scare. The Buckeyes, another shutout.
Well, let's not blow this out of proportion, what happened to Florida today. I think Bino made a good point. This happens to some of the other teams. I like Florida right now as the #1 team in the country. Ohio State's playing as good a defense as anybody in the country. They're at #2. Offense still needs to gel. I like Florida State at 3. Arizona State clinching the Pac-10 at 4, and Nebraska at 5. Pretty much
I disagree with you on the last 2. I think Arizona State is 5 and Nebraska is 4. Now, everybody say, I know Arizona State beat Nebraska, but Buster Douglas also beat Mike Tyson.
Come on.
Let me tell you something.
But they did it.
If Buster Douglas was to fight Mike Tyson right now, boom, he'd knock him out.
That's coming up.
At Holyfield tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
That fight was already happening. Arizona State knocked him out. A lot more coming up. Plenty more to talk about. These guys aren't done. More highlights from Mike in the studio right after this. Carolina's defense, a big story. Are they back in the alliance? We'll talk about that.
This man just woke up in a Residence Inn hotel room. What are his options? He can A, make a cup of fresh coffee in the kitchen. B, walk all the way over to the living room area and start a fire in the fireplace. Or C, shoot some hoops. Okay, let's see what he does. D, none of the above. Residence Inn by Marriott, the next best thing to home.
Introducing McDonald's Deluxe Sandwiches. They're new, they're big, with fresh toppings and a bakery soft roll. The average adult has over 8,000 taste buds. Get ready to use them all. It's McDonald's with a grown-up taste.
This is about the biggest idea in business communication today. About simple being smart, less being more. About how your business can get local and long-distance calling, plus everything from paging to conferencing, global to cellular. The whole menu, soup to nuts. From one team, on one bill. From the one and only company in America with the power to put it all together. Network MCI. That's how.
now with 50% more tender filet than before. McDonald's new Fish Filet Deluxe is sure to satisfy your grown-up needs and desires. For lunch. It's McDonald's with a grown-up taste.